Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are here for the ECL Pro, the start of playoffs, Brandon. It is games 4 through 7 for Deadly Phantoms going against Sulkavan Sudet. I am Tegan, it's King Lime Blair. He is Brandon B. Major Bigsby, and we are here at Sports Gamer GG. So there's some great playoff action.
That's right, Tegan. We've gone through the regular season. The time for qualification has ended, and now we're at, some may call the real season, the postseason. Every game matters so much more than any game that you played in the last 5 to 6 weeks. And now there's a championship on the line with every round that you're able to get past. We have two really good teams today hoping to have championship aspirations. Should be fun to see who's able to close this out and move on to round 2.
Brandon, well, let's take a look at who is actually going to be there as we pop into group number 1 and take a look at who made the left side of the board. As we were dissecting this and seeing how tight it was, it's exciting to see how it finished out.
Absolutely, and it was about as tight as things got. You see that Reality Check was able to hold on to that number 1 spot that they were seemingly in virtually all season, but it kind of went down a little bit lower than the standings, and that's when things got really tight. You saw Geeks Energy Esports, the last team, only got in by 1 point over Golden Knights and Nemesis, so it's kind of one of those things. We said it was going to be tight. We said there was a lot of parity in this pro division. That's exactly how things played out in Group 1, so you know there's going to be some teams here that have that potential to make a deep playoff run.
Definitely will be, as we see our teams on the left-hand side. Sulkavan Sudet, they're in 7th place. And let's head over to group number 2 of the standings. And this group 2, Brandon, as you remember, was so tight as it continues to be all the way down to 14th place there.
Oh, yeah, and it's so interesting because by my count, I believe 3 of the teams that we saw in playoffs last broadcast ended up being shuffled out and moved to the right side of the board, while teams that had some of those games in hand were a little bit lower in the standings took advantage of those games. You see teams like Ghetto Firebirds just squeaking in by just a matter of the tiebreaker. A team like Visu Gaming that was in that 4 or 5 spot being shuffled down because some of the teams that had games in hand, like Bia Bro, who moved their way all the way up to 3rd place, or a team like Hurlef Eagles, who were on the outside looking in, moved themselves to the left side of the board. So we knew that a lot of things could shake around. We knew that there were some teams that were on the left that could move on the right, and vice versa. That's exactly how things played out. It's unfortunate because there were some really good teams on that right side of the board that could have made playoffs and maybe even won a round or 2 with the way they were playing.
Well, Brandon, enough with the teams on the right, my friend. It's time to see the pro playoff round of 16 bracket.
That is right, and you see, we've already had one closely contested contest, Hana HC playing Visu Gaming. That one went all the way to 7 games with Hana HC, just avoiding the upset over Visu, so a very great series here, and you kind of see with the rest, things kind of shaking out so far the way we were expected to see them, other than that Bro and Arctic series, as well as Hurlef and Tatorit, so it's interesting. You never know what can happen in playoff time. We saw it last season, a few upsets. We could very well see it this season, but a lot of these top teams are on the top seeds for a reason. They've played well, they showed why so far. We'll see if they can keep it up, aside from a couple of teams that maybe didn't get off to the starts that they wanted to.
Brandon, the bottom side of your bracket there, each team being the underdog, like we spoke about, leading those series. It's going to be interesting to see how that carries on as we pop into the playoff results and see how these teams did against each other. Yeah,
and you kind of see the latest results, and it is interesting because I think what really kind of catches my eye, we talked about Visu Gaming and Hana HC. Visu Gaming, they were up in that series originally 3-2, so Hana HC had to come back, win 2 straight, but were able to do that, while a lot of other scores for the most part pretty close. You see 1-3, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2 in overtime, another 2-1 score, so when you get to these teams in the playoffs, you talk about that parity in the regular season, that translates itself even more so in the playoffs, because not only are you playing teams that are close to your skill level, but a lot of these teams you playing were in the opposite group, so you haven't gotten to look at them yet. It's so fun to see how these games have played out, and it's not a shock to see them as highly contested as they have been so far.
That's right, Brandon, and now we get into our matchup of the evening. That's right, we have Deadly Phantoms going against Sulkavan Sudet, where Deadly Phantoms got off to a pretty warm start, but Sulkavan Sudet, if they had anything to say about it, picking up a Game 3 win, and we're going to get Games 4 through 7 now.
Yeah, and it's so interesting with this matchup. You have a team that was not just the second highest scoring team in the league, but the best defensive team in the league, Deadly Phantoms, second most goals, only behind Voxjo Lakers, and the least goals allowed in the entire pro division. They're going to be going up against a Sulkavan Sudet team that was okay about middle of the pack in their group in both goals for and goals against, but they're a team trying to get over the hump. They've been in the playoffs multiple times in the pro division, but have not yet been able to have that sustained playoff run. They haven't been able to get that playoff magic yet to get them into that last round or so. So you have a hungry team versus a team that's trying to reach promotion again to the ECL Elite Division and has been a hot team in the pro division this year. So much to play for. Two teams with a lot of headlines and a lot of storylines. Should be interesting to see how it shakes out, especially since we'll be starting with what we call the swing game line. Game 4 is super pivotal, the first game we'll be seeing, so it's going to be fun to see how that shakes out.
We do love the swing game, Brandon. We talk about Game 4 being so massive, and let's take a look at how these teams did during the first 3 games in the team matchup here as we pop over.
Yeah, and it's interesting because things pretty even for the most part. 5 goals for to 6 goals for these two sides in favor of Deadly Phantoms. And I think you would maybe expect a little bit more of a differential than that, considering the Deadly Phantoms won both games in games 1 and game 2 in pretty convincing fashion. Sulkavan Sudet have been outshot 31-17 through the first 3 games. So I think you have to give a lot of credit to their defensive play as well as their goaltending when in their own end compared to Deadly Phantoms, who haven't really found that goal-scoring touch yet that we saw from them in the regular season.
We'll see if they can, and let's take a look at the lineups that are going to be doing it for these teams, Brandon. The Phantoms going to be coming out with a very, very strong group, as you see them on the right-hand side, as they have Playmaker SJ at center, Psycho Skills on left wing, Timothy on the right-hand side with great defensive Jur, X, and Frankie, and obviously RPH, we've seen a ton of him. He stole a shutout in game number 1. He's going to see if he can continue that trade here, Brandon, as Sulkavan Sudet on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the forward trio for Sulkavan Sudet, Apatea at the left wing with Doggy at the center, Yoki at right wing, and then on the back end, Yamoy and Yepe at left defense and right defense, and then the goaltender between the pipes, Icy, who has been so solid all season. And by the way, this is a Sulkavan Sudet team that has a lot of experience. They've played in the playoff many times. It's going to be interesting to see how they look against a Deadly Phantom team that also can match that experience pretty well.
And the dot has been so crucial here, hasn't it, Brandon? His face-offs has been everything in this series. Let's take a look at how Playmaker and Doggy did during the regular season.
Yeah, face-offs have been everything in this series, and they have been pretty even, which I think you would maybe be surprised at considering how big of a differential there were between these two centers in the regular season. How about this for a stat? The battle in the face-off dot through the first 3 games, insanely even, only separated by no more than 2 face-offs in each of the first 3 games. That includes a tie as well, and Playmaker actually had won the face-off battle, if I'm correct, in either of those games as well. I'd have to double-check that, but interesting to see how Doggy has really stepped up in that spot. We see how faceoffs can be so critical to winning the possession for your team. He stepped up big for this team. We'll see if he can continue to do so in these next few games.
Brandon, that's how they did during the regular season. Let's see how they did matched up against each other in the first 3 games.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing it there, and obviously, I know Doggy's face-off percentage obviously not as high. There's some contributions from his wingers from a few penalties that he's taken, but they've also stepped up in terms of the points. Both of these guys around a little bit over a point per game, and Playmaker especially 3 goals to 2 assists. So both of these guys can drive the play. They're great two-way players. They're going to have to continue to play that way, especially with this Game 4 being so critical for both of these two sides.
Well, Brandon, next up, it's going to be the wingers that have been so good for each of these teams during the regular season.
Yeah, so good indeed. And you look at the wing pair on the left side, the points a little bit higher than what you would see on the right side, but also more games played as well. It's going to be fun to see how these two can kind of match up because Sulkavan Sudet, they're a team that love putting that puck on net, especially with the 2 wingers in Napatea and Yoke. So both of those guys, they're very active in the offensive zone. Deadly Phantom's going to have to shut them down. Well, what's more to be said about guys like Psycho Stills and Timothy? They're a part of the best offensive unit in the pro division, arguably. They were number 1 in goals for last season. They're number 2 this season. Both of these guys have been keys to that the last 2 years. They're going to have to keep them going and keep them stopped if you are Sulkavan Sudet defensively.
Both of these teams, Brandon, love to make offense come from the defense as well, but let's see how they did here in the first 3 games on the wing.
Yeah, you're seeing both Psycho and Timosey really showing up. And something interesting about Timosey, look out for him on the power play. He has scored both power play goals so far in this series for this Deadly Phantom side. And, you're kind of seeing how things have showed up for them so far. A lot more shots on net, a lot more opportunities. Both Psycho and Timosey have more shots on net on their own than the two wingers of Sulkavan and Sudet do combined. So it kind of gets to show you how Deadly Phantoms done a good job controlling the possession and getting opportunities for themselves. While for Sulkavan and Sudet, maybe need to work on trying to generate a little bit more offensively despite having some pretty good efforts defensively.
And speaking of defense, Brandon, let's head over and take a look at how these gentlemen did during the regular season. Familiar with them we are. And high points and hits on these guys.
High points and hits, and how about the block shots for Sulkavan Sudet? 33 for Yamoy, 28 for Vepe. So you're kind of seeing both of those guys, they like to get in front of the net and block those shooting lanes. That's so big against a team like Deadly Phantoms that do have that knack for scoring the puck. So something to watch out with those two guys. But how about Jervillard and Frankie? I'm not going to spend too much time, but these two guys have been absolutely amazing this season. This was a Deadly Phantoms team that last season was great offensively, most goals scored, but not as great defensively. This season, they have turned themselves into arguably one of the best two-way teams in the entire pro division. How about this for a comparison? Last season, they allowed 71 goals. This year, 46. These two have been a huge reason to that turnaround. Expect them to show up even more here in the playoffs in a big series.
Absolutely, Brandon. Great stats to bring up there. They've definitely improved. Let's see how they've improved during these 3 games here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you're seeing on the left side, continuing that trend of being able to get in front and block shots. Both Yamoy and Vepe, 5 shots blocked and 6 shots blocked between the two of them. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on if they can continue that success. But for Jervillard and Frankie, kind of just continuing what they've been doing. They might not block a lot of shots. They might not throw the body around a lot, but they're always well positioned. They don't give you a lot to work with offensively, and they're able to contribute a little bit on the breakout as well to give them some of those assist totals that you see so far on the screen. So the defense battle could very well be what wins and loses this matchup for these two teams. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how these 4 players step up for the two sides.
Well, let's see if any shots at all get through the defense on the left-hand side, as Icy's going to have to stop them if they do. Let's take a look at the goaltenders here. Icy and RPH during the regular season.
Yeah, and both of these guys with pretty solid regular seasons, hoping to translate it into the playoffs. Icy a little bit under that 80 save percentage mark, but close enough to it to where you're not too unhappy with the stats that he put up. He also had 3 shutout efforts in his season as well as, RPH, statistically, maybe one of the better goalies all season long. 7 shutouts in 24 games, over an 83 save percentage, won 17 of the 24 games he played. So this is a guy that's one of the top goalies, not just for this team and in his group in the regular season, but also was one of the top goalies in the entire pro division as well. He hasn't had the start he wanted to so far to this series, but expect him to step up. He's a guy that can steal some games for this Deadly Phantom squad.
He definitely can. Let's see if he stole any during the first 3 games, as I know he definitely stole one as we see a shutout on the right-hand side.
Yeah, he had that shutout, so he already has a little bit of confidence going in. Sulkavan Sudet struggled a little bit offensively, didn't get to test him a lot, but you still have to make the saves that you need to make. Otherwise, there is no shutout to begin with, so you have to give RPH some credit for that. Icy, on the other hand, very solid so far. He's around at the same save percentage that he had in the regular season, this time over 80%, but it's not easy going against a Deadly Phantom team that, like we said, was the top scoring side in the division last season, second top scoring side in the division this season. So this is a team that is proven offensively. They know how to light the lamp and put the puck in the net. That is such a test as a goaltender, but Icy has been up to the challenge so far. He's going to have to keep it up to give this Sulkavan Sudet team a chance to pull off the upset.
Well, it sounds like the bus is turned off. Both teams are ready to go and fired up here. Brandon, it is playoffs. It is game number 4 here at the ECL Pro. And besides all this excitement, we've got a little bit more excitement here as we might see some e-hockey moments we've been talking about during the regular season.
Oh, absolutely. Like, we've talked about some of those e-hockey moments. We've seen some of them live on our broadcast. And if you maybe want to share some of your best moments on NHL 22, some of your best clips, make sure to share them with us on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag #eHockeyMoments and tagging us on social media at SportsGamerGG for giving yourself a weekly chance to win some cans of IQ Fuel. You have a great goal, share it. If you have a big save, share it. Even if it's a bit of a blunder that just made you and your teammates laugh, make sure to share it. Might give yourself a chance to to win some cans of IQ Fuel. So make sure you say hashtag eHockeyMoments and tag at SportsGamerGG with your best NHL 22 clip on Twitter or Instagram to participate.
We saw a pretty nice clip last week, didn't we, Brandon? That one's all over Twitter, and we're going to see some come out of the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tour as well.
Oh, absolutely. 2 to 4 players and a 10,000 euro prize pool line. What more could you ask for than that? I know you're a big threes guy. I love threes too. And anyone from the ECL Light Division on down or not participating in any of the ECL leagues are signed up and eligible to be signed up for this tournament. So make sure you go look at sportsgamer.gg for more information on that. And also make sure to tune into our coverage right here at twitch.tv/sportsgamergg to keep up with everything going on with the Wilhelm Hockey Tour. So many great things going on here at SportsGamer. Absolutely love what they've been doing with that tournament.
Absolutely fantastic, and so is this as we get ourselves started. Deadly Phantoms against Sulkavan Sudet here at the ECL Pro Playoffs at SportsGamer GG. You see your respective lineups in the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. Phantoms repping the gorgeous red and white as they dump that one in right-hand side. Timothy gets it out front, and we get action right away, but the puck's picked up by Sulkavan Sudet, and Yamoy comes down the right-hand side. He dumps that one in deep. First onto the puck, it is going to be Deadly Phantoms. They send it all the way down the ice too far, Brandon, and we get our first whistle with an icing on the play.
First whistle of the game, and not too much action here in the first 3 minutes. Maybe a little bit of a feeling out period, but I think Sulkavan Sudet, important that they get the offense going early. They struggled offensively in the first 3 games, and Deadly Phantoms are a team that when they get going, it's hard to stop them. So getting that first goal could be key.
Doggy gets that one down low to Yoki. Yoki holding that, going back to the point. A little awkward stick holding there. It's going to give Phantoms a chance. First on it, Timothy. Looking back door, he carries it. The puck's there, and he scores with a third swing, and he gets it.
And how about that for Timothy? His 3rd goal of the playoffs, first in 5-on-5 play, and it comes early in this game 4. It's almost like these guys hear us, Lime. I say it all the time. You don't want to let the Deadly Phantoms get things going early because they're so hard to stop when they get some forward momentum. But how about that? They get out of the defensive zone, do a great job in their own end, turn it into an opportunity offensively, and take advantage of it with a few shots on that. Just like that, the Deadly Phantoms, with the start they hope to get, a 1-0 lead less than 5 minutes in.
That's Timothy's 4th goal in as many games here in the playoffs, Brandon. So continuing, he does as Frankie fires it. Timothy again with a shot. It's loose in front, but Icy holds on.
Yeah, Nicey being tested pretty early here. Things seemed like they might have been a little bit calm to start out. Sulkavan Sudet had a chance in the offensive zone, and all of a sudden, Deadly Phantoms were back in their own offensive zone and getting chances and found one past Icy, so he's had to stay sharp early here in the first few minutes.
Yoki's going to bring that one out for Sulkavan Sudet. It's turned over, and Jurek starts for the Phantoms. Up the left-hand side to Timothy, the goal scorer, goes up to Playmaker. Playmaker, nice little area pass down low, but he gets the puck right back, fighting for it, and it's Sulkavan Sudet. Epetea gets that one down. But it's going to be Frankie for the Deadly Phantoms, turning it the other way. Good play there by Vape. As he goes over to his partner Yamoy, back to Vape, and Sulkavan Sudet works out through the neutral zone. Having a tough time getting into the offensive zone here, though, of the Phantoms.
Yeah, the only time they were able to break through was on that icing, so I have to find a way to break that neutral zone defense of Deadly Phantoms.
His Doggy finally does, but Timothy there is on the back check to help out. Sends it all the way down the ice, no icing on the play. As Phantoms almost come out, Playmaker had an opportunity. He's going to be pinned against the boards. And the puck does come out to Sulkavan Sudet. Yoki, back to Doggy. Good break in there by Sulkavan Sudet, but look at that defense of the Phantoms, and they get an Omaha play. It's Psycho Skills with a quick shot there on the breakaway, Brandon. Maybe thinking he was going to get caught, and he plays that one out. Puck down low now for Sulkavan Sudet, looking to build on something. That shot is on. Good interception by Jur, and it's a 2-on-1 the other way. Timothy with Psycho. Great diving block there by Yamoy, and that's a 200 IQ play, Brandon.
Yeah, great play, and you need those kind of defensive plays right there if you're Sulkavan Sudet, but it was a good play from Deadly Phantoms. Now they're going to have to try to do it again here on the defensive zone.
Here's Psycho Skills. Turns that one over. Doggy brings it in for Sulkavan Sudet. It's turned over right at the line, and Psycho comes back in, dumps it in deep. Right-hand side, first to the puck is Timothy. Timothy battling Yamoy. Back to the point, D-to-D shot is blocked. Timothy in the right-hand side. Puck turned over to Doggy, and he brings it out through the neutral zone. Vape dumps that one in, just trying to get something going in the offensive zone as we get through this quick period here in the ECL Pro Playoffs, game number 4. Here's Vape through to Doggy. He plays catch in the neutral zone and dumps that one in on net, and RPH had to be sharp. First puck he seen. Vape. Nice move as RPH has to make a good save there, getting the blocker on it, Brandon.
Yeah, first time RPH has really been tested so far in this game, but he was sharp on a pretty close angle shot there. It's exactly what Sulkavan and Sudet needs to do. Test this goalie at RPH, get some shots on that. We always see it. You never know what can happen when you do.
Another Omaha play, a spin by Playmaker, pumps it to Timothy. What a save by Icy as he gets a pad on it. It is unbelievable save to stop the goal scorer from getting 2. Here comes Sulkavan Sudet. Doggy with room spins and they score with just under 4 seconds to go. Sulkavan Sudet ties the game.
And how about that, Tegan? It's something that we talked about before. I'm sure we'll talk about it many times more. But so dangerous are the last-minute goals in each period. And this one, a huge one for Sulkavan Sudet, because they hold off the attack of Deadly Phantoms, keep it at a goal, and are able to capitalize on that defense and turn it into a good offensive opportunity that they capitalize on right there. Could have come at a better time, and now they get to go into the second period with a clean slate in a tie game, 1-1.
Brandon, we say how crucial those late period goals are, and how crucial are they when you're down 2-1 in this series late in the period?
Absolutely, and you know, it's so interesting because Deadly Phantoms seem like they had this period under wraps. They've been playing so well offensively. It felt like they were really in control of this game, and you even talked about it a little bit yourself. Sulkavan Sudet kind of struggled getting in the offensive zone, getting past that neutral zone defense of the Deadly Phantoms, but they kept at it. They didn't let Deadly Phantoms continue to build on that momentum despite 7 shots on net. Have to give a lot of credit to Icy between the pipes on staying on his toes and making some big saves. And all of a sudden, it just took that one opportunity, and Sulkavan Sudet took advantage of it, put the puck in the net, got a good look, and were able to beat RPH to tie this game up. Have to give them a lot of credit for keeping themselves at that one goal to put themselves in position to tie this game late in the period.
Both these goals we're getting a look at here, Brandon, both very resilient plays, you know, players driving to the net and being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I think you have to give a lot of credit to the passing as well on both of those plays. You never can have a great goal usually without a great pass or a great defensive play that led to it. You saw great examples out with both of these 2 goals, and you can tell how much this game means to both these 2 sides, Lime. 1-1 game 4, a swing game for both sides. Let's see who's able to kind of break this thing open and take the lead.
Period number 2 here in game number 4 in the ECL Pro Playoffs. Phantoms leading the series 2-1. You saw your respective lineups in the bottom right and left-hand corner of your screen. Here comes Sulkavan Sudet in yellow into the zone, but it's going to be the Phantoms in white taking it out the other way. Good play by Yamoy. Yamoy goes around to his partner, Vape. Vape back to Yamoy, and they play catch coming out of the zone, trying to get in, and they do. Playmaker, though, a 200-foot center for the Phantoms. Gets that back to his D, and they work the puck out behind the net. At the left-hand side, great pick-off by Yoki. Yoki puts it down low to Doggy, back to Yoki. Out front, did a great defensive play by Frankie to get his stick in the lane.
Yeah, I know that pass might have went awry there, but I love that forecheck from Sulkavan Sudet. They put the pressure on Deadly Phantoms, and they weren't able to get out of their own zone. If they can keep that up, it might bode well for their chances.
Sulkavan Sudet trying to build on that momentum here, Brandon. They come out with a late period goal, and it shows here with 5 minutes into period number 2.
Yeah, and I like the aggressive mindset that they showed here to start this period. With a team like Deadly Phantoms, it's easy to kind of sit back because they are so dangerous with the puck on their stick. Can't sit back too much, so have to play your game and be aggressive to force them to make some mistakes.
Here's Doggy behind the net, trying to do a sneaky pass out to Petea, but he couldn't connect. Phantoms getting that puck in deep, looking to shut down the momentum Sulkavan Sudet is carrying. Doggy, nice pass through the middle to Yoki. Yoki trying to speed through. It pops right out to a Petea, and he takes the gift wrap and pops it in the back of the net.
How about that? It went right to his stick, trickled in the right direction, and Apetia, like you said, was in the right place at the right time. I don't even think that was a registered pass. Looked like the puck just kind of trickled out of the stick after that defensive play from the two Deadly Phantoms defenders, and Apetia was right where he needed to be to scoop that up, and RPH, nothing he could do about that net. But Sulkavan and Sudet, all of a sudden, from being down this game and kind of on their heels to being up 2-1 in the middle of the second period, if they can get another one, boy, oh boy, Deadly Phantoms will really have to get something going soon.
Well, Brandon, now tides have changed in this game. Sulkavan and Sudet getting 2 unanswered goals, but they give that one away, and here comes Timothy, but what a save by Icy!
Ice, baby, a huge save from Icy right there. We were talking about how Sulkavan and Sudet had the lead. Well, Deadly Phantoms were trying to say, hey, we are going to let them have it for long, but Icy standing on his head there with a big save there. No clue how he made that, but he's one of the better goalies in this division for a reason.
Here's Doggy moving that one ahead to Petea, the goal scorer, coming in on the right-hand side. Drops that one down low. It's going to be rung all the way around to Vape. Great pinch to keep the puck alive for Sulkavan and Sudet. Here's a Petea. Shoots with a big slapper high in the slot, but RPH at the top of his crease makes a great save.
Yeah, and both of the goalies kind of showing out a little bit. It had been more of the offense that prevailed so far in the first 30 minutes of this game, but all of a sudden you see a big save from Ice, a big save from RPH. The goalies we said could impact this game, they have right there in the last couple possessions.
Timothy, the lone goal scorer for the Phantoms, trying to get that puck out and on a breakaway, but he couldn't get through the defense, and we see an offside with 8:45 left on the clock in the second period.
I'm going to be interested to see how Sulkavan and Sudet controls their play here with the rest of this game. They're up 2-1. That's a great start. But like I kind of mentioned earlier, with this Deadly Phantoms team, the last thing you can afford to do is sit back on your laurels. They can score at any moment. You have to stay aggressive and keep doing what you're doing and maybe pad this lead a little bit.
Here's Frankie in the right-hand corner. Goes out the right-hand side. That one's going to be all the way down the ice, and it is enough for icing. So the momentum the Phantoms are trying to shut down, they may have just given a little bit back to Sulkavan and Sudet.
Yeah, and this has been a team in Sulkavan and Sudet that's kind of outperformed what we expected from them in the face-off dot, so we'll see if they can win one here.
Phantoms do take that draw, though, Brandon, and Frankie works the puck out. He dumps that one in left-hand side, and the Phantoms give chase. They are going to battle in that corner, but Vape gets a Dioki, and the puck is out for Sulkavan and Sudet. Yamoy trying to get entry into the zone, but this Phantoms team, Brandon, is really turning up the urgency now.
Yeah, maybe not aggressive on the forecheck, but aggressive in the neutral zone, kind of pinching up on those defensemen, not giving them an easy look on the breakout.
There you see it once again, as Brandon just said, and they're going to get a free entry on the right-hand side. Frankie coming down into the middle to Timothy, and that shot is blocked. And there we see the blocked shots by Sulkavan and Sudet come into play. That was a great chance for Timothy, but not able to get the puck past the defenders. They're basically playing with 3 goaltenders out there. It's Frankie trying to get that puck in deep, no can do. And Vape. He works the puck up the left-hand side. Yoki over to Yamoy. Up to Petea. Petea in the right-hand corner. Trying to wrap that one around, but RPH is going to hold on.
Yeah, and RPH, he's had to be sharp here. And Sulkavan and Sudet, they're getting a fair amount of opportunities here against Deadly Phantoms. This might be the overall most complete game that they have played so far in the series. Remember, we mentioned in the first 3 games, they were getting outshot 31-17. In this one, it has not been the case. They've been much better in this period, keeping Deadly Phantoms at bay.
Puck is going to be brought in by Sulkavan and Sudet. They throw that one into the right-hand corner and give chase, and the dump and chase has worked for them. They've been very aggressive in the offensive zone. Here's Timothy trying to thread the needle, but can't get it through that defense of Sulkavan and Sudet that's been so good. Here's Yamoy. What a diving block, and another block, as we're seeing blocks from the Phantoms now, taking a book at a Sulkavan and Sudet's game there, Brandon.
I won't spend too much time on it, but that's a great example of how Playmaker can do so many things for this Deadly Phantoms team on both ends of the ice. We talked about him being a force to be reckoned with as a two-way player. He can put the puck in the net, he can dish it to his teammates, but he can also make key defensive plays like that one, not allowing Sulkavan and Sudet to get that puck on net. We already know what happens when you can allow that goal late in the first period. They did so in that first period. Nice job from Playmaker, not even letting that puck or that play see the light of day to get in front of that and block it.
So Sulkavan Sudet coming out with a pretty strong period there, Brandon. That late period goal definitely had a change here as we're seeing a Petea's goal. I don't think it was a pass either. That puck kind of just slid out to him.
No, it wasn't. It was the defensive stick. I couldn't tell exactly who it was, but one of the stick of the defenseman going back looked like it kind of swung over, right over to the Sulkavan Sudet advantage. And, right there waiting for it was a Petea. So it's just kind of one of those things. Right place, right time. You never know what can happen when the puck is right in front of the net like that. It worked to the advantage of Sulkavan Sudet in that play.
All right, as we start period number 3 in the ECL Pro at sportsgamer.gg, you see the Deadly Phantoms who lead the series but not the game. 2-1, Sulkavan Sudet up here in game number 4. 2-1, period number 3, Yoki trying to thread a needle, no can do. Puck's brought out by Timothy. Timothy in, and that's offside.
Yeah, and I think Deadly Phantoms need to just kind of get back to basics here. They've had a couple of looks on Icy, but Icy has been really solid. The only thing that I kind of think they can do better at is, ironically enough, what you just saw on the screen. Not enough time on attack so far for Deadly Phantoms. So, 2:22, they were averaging 6 minutes or more in all 3 games originally in the series. They have to find a way to get more possession, because when they get that possession, they can move the puck around the offensive zone. It's what makes them so dangerous and so hard to contain.
Puck's brought in here. And what a move as Yoki takes it right to the net and scores to make it a 3-1 game.
And how about that for Yoki? What a move and what a play to double this lead for Sulkavan Sudet, just using that stick work, using his fellow forward right there as a little bit of a distraction, and Epitea kind of flirting with that pass, moving the positioning of the defense over to kind of fall for that pass, and then just putting the puck on that to beat RPH. It's a great play, a great move, and unassisted nevertheless for a second goal of this game. And all of a sudden, the Deadly Phantoms, things are spelling trouble a little bit here in this third period.
They've been very quiet since that goal from Timothy in period number 1. As here he is with the puck, goes back door, and another huge save as that one goes off the side of the net as well by Icy. Here's Sulkavan Sudet coming through the middle. Huge hit there by Psycho Skills. Trying to build on that momentum comes the Phantom. Shot on Icy with another bad save. And here comes Doggy down the left-hand side. He dumps that one in deep, and first onto it is a Petea. Petea trying to L2 his way into the middle. He gets bumped off of the puck. And Timothy, nice pass up to Psycho Skills. He comes down with speed. Looking for Timothy on the cut, but not able to connect the pass, Brent.
Yeah, and Deadly Phantoms, it just feels like they've been a little bit off in this game. The passes aren't connecting. As you see another example of that right there, not a lot of offensive generation. They haven't been able to sustain the offense in their zone. It's been interesting to see how Sulkavan Sudet have adjusted defensively.
There's a few shots on Icy there, but he's going to hold on for the whistle.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Shots haven't been the problem. It's just, like I said, been that offensive zone time. They haven't gotten quality shots on Icy other than a couple of chances early and 1 or 2 in the second period. So we'll see if they can get things going, but down by 2, they gotta get it going quick.
There's a quick face-off play by the Phantoms. Another big save by Icy, and if this game continues the way it is, we'll have to have a good talk about him in the intermission as Sulkavan Sudet comes down with a little greaser off the pad. Can't collect the rebound and put the second shot on RPH. Here's Jur. Moves that one up to Timothy. Timothy through the neutral zone, comes in on the half wall. Tried to go back to the defense, but Sulkavan Sudet doing a very good job once they get into the defensive zone to get in those lanes, block shots, and just playing a stellar game in their own territory.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really carried them through so far in this series. Obviously, Deadly Phantoms have been the better team offensively in terms of controlling the possession, but Sulkavan Sudet haven't let them see that high-scoring game yet. The most goals that I think Deadly Phantoms have scored have been around 3 in a game, so that goes to a lot of the credit of Icy and net and the defensive play that's been happening in front of them.
Couple of good poke checks on the left-hand side, and then we'll see a power play for the Deadly Phantoms. So this is where the game can possibly turn around as we get an interference call to Sulkavan Sudet.
And this has been a bit of a struggle so far for Sulkavan Sudet this series, taking penalties. They took 5 in the first 3 games, and that's not something you want to do when Deadly Phantoms are so good at controlling that possession and capitalizing on their chances offensively. They're 3 for 5 on the PK, so not too shabby so far, but they have to convert this one to keep their momentum going in this game 4.
Well, the Deadly Phantoms are going to want to make it 3 for 6 in the series as they put that shot on, and 50% is a great number on the power plays. Here's Timothy. Still holding that puck out at the line. He walks the line, goes back over to Frankie, back up to Timothy, left-hand side as that puck moves around, but Can't find a shooter. Frankie holds it into the line. It's high, and the shot finally comes from Jur. But the save is made by Icy. Playmaker back to Frankie at the point. To Playmaker again. Shot is on, and Icy with another save. As Phantom's just looking for that rebound out front. Frankie puts it on. That one trickles by. Puck finally finds its way out front. Timothy with a shot, and Icy again with a great save.
They might have not scored so far, but Deadly Phantoms, this has been the best offensive possession I think we've seen from them all game so far. The way they're moving that puck around, getting opportunities, it's been really, really fun to watch. This is the team that we expected to see going in.
As I'm sure Sulkavan Sudet saw that prediction in the chat at the beginning of the game, and it gave him some fire, as 90% of the chat thought it would be the Deadly Phantoms. As that puck's brought out by Jur, over to Playmaker on the right-hand side, looking to drop that back, as that is a penalty kill as it gets in, but I think Psycho Skills bumped into the goaltender.
Yeah, they're going to call that one off. The puck was right in the pads of Icy, and I don't blame Psycho. You want to try to get to that front of the net, see if you can poke it in, but you cannot not only kick it in potentially, but bump yourself into the goalie to move that puck loose. It's not going to count, but Deadly Phantoms, they've been solid offensively. They've been generating a lot in their offensive zone the last few minutes. Now they have to find a way to get a goal because time's starting to dwindle down here with less than 5 minutes to go.
Here's Yoki bringing that puck up to Apetea, and the Phantoms are going to want to have that one back. This puck behind the net. Doggy to Apetea. Apetea in the right-hand corner. And this is exactly what Sulkavan Sudet needs, is they get a tricky little shot from the corner, and RPH had to be sharp, and they're just doing the offensive zone cycle, taking their time here, but 2 minutes left on the clock. Timothy, the lone,
don't blame them.
As Timothy, the lone goal scorer, comes out and moves that, and that is offside. And you're right, Brandon. Sulkavan Sudet doesn't mind this slow game.
Yeah, no, I do want to mention something. Keep in mind, we saw this from Sulkavan Sudet last week. They were playing more IK. They were up in the game 2-0 with about 2 minutes to go, and they ended up losing that game, allowing 2 goals in the last 50 seconds, and then losing in overtime. So they have to stay sharp and stay focused here in the playoffs. You don't want to repeat of that.
Puck's moved ahead to Timothy. Timothy, he tried to L2 all the way through, but 3 Sulkavan Sudet players were putting up the wall at the line, and it continues to work for them as we close inside the last minute here in the third period.
Yeah, we'll see if they can keep things going, but you have to feel good about their chances. The way IC has played in net, the way that they have really controlled things defensively, not giving Deadly Phantoms clear-cut opportunities despite the shots on net. We'll see if they can hold on the last 50 seconds.
Puck is going to be brought out by Sulkavan Sudet. They give that away to Deadly Phantoms, who dump that in. They need to hold on to that puck right now. As breaks out Sulkavan Sudet, it finds Apetea into the zone. 30 seconds left on the clock. He holds it and takes it into the right-hand corner. And this is the offensive zone cycle. It's all they need in playoffs here. But they come out and score anyways, as Apetea basically puts the dagger in it.
There's nothing more fun than to watch a player to make a smart play to begin that whole sequence, end up being rewarded for the goal later on. I want to go back to the breakout there. A great breakout for Sulkavan Sudet, and Apetea, he had a chance maybe to try to take it to the net and get a chance, but he was smart with it. He knew the situation. He knew they didn't need the goal. The time was more important. He held on, waited for the rest of his team to come back, got the cycle going, and ended up being rewarded down the line with a great offensive generated play from the Sulkavan Sudet team. And now all of a sudden, Lime, it's 2-2. I don't think many people expected this. Sulkavan Sudet giving this Deadly Phantoms team a good run for their money.
4-1, and that is a statement game, isn't it, Brandon? As they come out after a big loss and they win the swing game. As that puck is all the way down for icing, we'll get 7 seconds left and clean up the rest of this game, Brandon.
Yeah, and, I'm sure we'll get to talk about it a little bit more later on, but how about this win for Sulkavan Sudet, a team that, like we said, they've been in the playoffs in the Pro Division for a few seasons now, have not necessarily been able to get over the hump. How big of a statement would it be to beat the Deadly Phantoms team? And it's a big step forward, tying this one 2-2 as well.
And that does it for game number 4. Sulkavan Sudet comes out and takes a massive swing game W, tying up this series 2-2 here in the ECL Pro Division.
Yeah, the stats might not look the prettiest, but the scoreline would beg to differ. 4-1 now. big shout out to our producer in the back, Guido. Not only does he do a great job running these broadcasts for us and making things easy, but he likes to pop in the stats every now and then as well to make us look good. Both wins in the series by a score of 4-1 for Sulkavan Sudet, so he's kind of found the magic number, it seems, to their success versus Deadly Phantoms. But we were kind of talking about in that period, how big of a win is this to tie the series 2-2? It was going to be a tough task to win 3 straight against a Deadly Phantoms team that I don't know if they've lost 3 straight all season long. I'd have to kind of double check and look back at the schedule, but this is a huge win, a potential series-changing win, and now, Lime, it turns into a best-of-3, and the pressure kind of clamps down a little bit more if you're the Deadly Phantoms just because you are the favorites and the expectations are so high for this playoff run.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Brandon. And how about Sulkavan Sudet now coming out with 2-game streak here as the Phantoms came out in 1 game 1 and 2, and Sulkavan Sudet is carrying this momentum through game 3 and 4 and hoping to do it here in game 5.
Yeah, and the time on attack, interestingly enough, Sulkavan Sudet had more TOA in that game, did Deadly Phantoms, even though the shots on net were a little bit of a difference, 10-17 in favor of the Deadly Phantoms, but like we said, when it was 5-on-5, Deadly Phantoms just didn't really have that consistent offensive generation. They weren't really able to get that same cycle going. They had a few shots on net, but when they were high quality, Icy was able to stop them, and you never really saw a lot of those really good one-time plays that you typically do see from this team. So it'll be interesting to see if they can maybe do a better job of establishing that zone and getting the defense a little bit more spread out. Because Sulkavan Sudet, they were really well positioned. They were in time, blocking shots, not giving a lot of space for this Deadly Phantoms offense to operate.
And they did in the first period as Deadly Phantoms came out very strong, but Sulkavan Sudet's defense was just phenomenal. The blocking shots we talked about, Brandon, we saw lots of that, and they were very, very good in their own zone. As defense wins championships, we've heard that before. But we've got Game 5 that's going to be coming up very soon here, the ECL Pro Playoffs at sportsgamer.gg, but we're going to have to get a word from our sponsors first. Well, it's playoff hockey here at sportsgamer.gg, ECL Pro Action. I'm Tegan, it's King Lime Blair. He is Brandon B. Major Bigsby. And Brandon, what a game by Sulkavan Sudet. Both games 3 and 4, 4-1 victories. And they're going to look to carry that on in game 5. And how about Icy in between the pipes for Sulkavan Sudet?
Yeah, an amazing performance from Icy. 16 saves on 17 shots in that game 4. We talked about how he was solid in the regular season. Maybe he didn't have that same percentage above 80%, but was a guy that we knew could step up big for the Sulkavan Sudet team. And considering how good Deadly Phantoms have been offensively the past few seasons, especially this season, he was going to have to be even better. He was going to have to step up and arguably be Sulkavan Sudet's best player on the ice. Well, I don't think there's much debating. He was exactly that there in Game 4. He was exactly that arguably in Game 3 as well. So you kind of look at the goaltending situation for Sulkavan Sudet. Maybe start to feel like this thing can happen for them potentially. They have a big Game 5 coming up. They've won the last 2 games. Momentum, not just in this game, but in this series, is now on their side. And like we said, there's a much different pressure being the favorites if you're Deadly Phantoms, a team that was one of the best in the pro division. They're trying to get back to ECL Elite. They had a great year this year, seen as one of the championship favorites potentially. Sulkavan Sudet, no one thought they were winning this. They don't have that same pressure. They have nothing to lose and have the chip on their shoulder only from their own expectations and not outside expectations. So this is going to be an interesting Game 5. 2 teams with a lot to play for. Deadly Phantom's going to have to step up and find a way to beat Icy if they want to try to get themselves back where they want to be in this series.
Brandon, when a goalie's hot, you have to ride him. It's a 2-2 series. You just want to continue playing the best you can and hoping your goalie makes spectacular saves, maybe even some e-hockey moment saves, Brandon.
It's not just big goals, it's not just big hits, it's big saves as well. And if you're a goalie in the chat and you have a few big saves to share, how about you go on Instagram or Twitter, tag us at SportsGamerGG with the hashtag eHockeyMoments with your best NHL 22 clips to give yourself a weekly chance to win some cans of IQ Fuel. Like we said, big goals, big saves, big hits, anything that even just made the party laugh that was funny on NHL 22, make sure you share with us. You might give yourself a chance to win some nice prizes with some cans of IQ Fuel.
That's right. And then if you maybe grab 1 friend, 2 friends, or 3 friends, you can head over to the Wilhelm e-hockey tour. And Brandon, there's some exciting stuff. You can let everybody know about that as well.
That's right, a 10,000 euro prize pool for the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tour. Lime, you alluded to it, 2 to 4 players. Anyone from the ECL light on down or not signed up for ECL in general are eligible for this tournament. Not only that, but we have coverage of the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tour here on the channel. If you want to go back and kind of see some of the action that's been going on, or if you want to see future action right here at twitch.tv/sportsgamergg. I'm a big threes guy. You are too, Lime. It's going to be just interesting to see how that kind of shakes out because 10,000 euros, a lot of money on the line there.
Well, it looks like we're ready to go here, Brandon. It is ECL Pro, game number 5 here at sportsgamer.gg. Deadly Phantoms going against Sulkavan Sudet. You see the respective lineups in the bottom right and left-hand corner of your screen where Deadly Phantoms hoping this red can maybe bring him a little bit of luck.
Yeah, you know, they won both games on home ice, but lost both games on the road, so maybe there's something to the threats there, Teague, and we'll see if they can bring us some good luck.
Face-off is won. Psycho Skills goes back to Jur, over to Frankie, and the Deadly Phantoms, they came out strong in game number 4 early, but it looks like Sulkavan Sudet looking to keep their foot on the gas. Here's Yamoy. Yamoy back at the point, goes into the middle of the Doggy, who drops that one back to Vape, and the puck finds its way back to Yamoy, and look at this entry. Doggy tries to put a shot on. Good defense there by the Phantoms. As that one's dumped in right-hand side. First on the puck is going to be Apetea, and Apetea coming all the way back, and that's what you need to see in playoffs, isn't it, Brandon, is the wingers coming back that deep in the defensive zone to help out.
Yeah, it's so important to have all 5 guys on the same page defensively. Obviously, you want your wingers to contribute offensively, but they have to be in good position defensively to get that offense going. It's a great advantage there, or a great example there by Apetea to be in position and help stop that play with the rest of his teammates.
As Yoki goes over to Apetea and finds its way back to Yoki, to Apetea, and again, we're seeing the defense being so good, Brandon, where the passes aren't getting through. These are poke checks that are finding their way in right place, right time for each respective team.
Yeah, and you have to give a credit to the forecheck of Sulkavan Sudet as well. It's been solid throughout that game 3, and it's something that kind of helped them get things going offensively in that first game. They're continuing that pressure, not letting Deadly Phantoms get a clean breakout, and really making them think on some of the passes they worked through.
Playmaker has the puck poke checked off his stick, and Sulkavan Sudet works out on the breakout. Doggy tried to get a pass ahead to Yoki, but good defense from Deadly Phantoms. Gets the puck through Frankie. He tries an Omaha play as it worked a couple times in the first period, Brandon. Let's see if they maybe try a few more of those, as we didn't see one in the second and third of game number 4. There's Timothy. He brings that in on the right-hand side. He was the lone goal scorer for the Phantoms. He gets it back to the point. Frankie back down low to Timothy. Shoots, and great saver if that was off the bar. I'll have to get word as Psycho Skills wraps that one back to the point. Jur. There's Frankie doing a good job in puck support to help out his defender, and this is exactly what the Phantoms need. They need to keep this going. As Yamoy takes the puck away and looks to build on it for Sulkavan Sudet. Over to Yoki. Into the middle to Doggy. And that one's in the right-hand corner. Frankie. Frankie into the middle to Timothy, back to Frankie. Little give-and-go play, but this lineup of Sulkavan Sudet at the line is very good. But Timothy takes the puck away, tries to bring it into the middle. Puck is loose, bouncing around. Who's got it? It's Sulkavan Sudet. Is a lot of puck battles right near the top of the crease. As here we go again. Puck picked up by Timothy. Back to the point to Frankie. Shoots. That one's blocked. Puck pops loose again into the right-hand corner, but it's going to be Sulkavan Sudet who comes up with it this time. That one's poke checked off. Apetea now. Apetea into the middle to Doggy. Doggy gets that one ahead to Yoki. Yoki had a great individual effort bringing the puck in last game. As Frankie takes that puck away. Better defense here from the Phantoms in this period.
Yeah, they've really improved compared to that first game, or that game 3, or game 4 rather, that we saw them in originally. They kind of struggled defensively a little bit, and Sulkavan Sudet were able to get on the attack a little bit more. Not as much success with that in this game for them, so a nice defensive adjustment here from Deadly Phantoms through game 5.
Playmaker, downloaded Timothy. He tried to backhand wrap. We know that's a high percentage play here in NHL 22. As Frankie can't keep that puck in, didn't want to chance it. Maybe that's a good play. His possession is everything here. As Timothy Down the right-hand side, tried to walk that puck out. He gives it away to Petea, and here he goes down the right-hand boards with speed. Gets around Frankie. Moves that one down low to Yoki. Backdoor, and oh, boy! It's off the backside of the post and drops on the goal line by Doggy.
Oh, and it's a game of inches, Tegan, and that's an example of that right there. A couple more inches forward, and Sulkavan Sudet's going up in this period 1-0. That is absolutely huge, and a play to remember potentially later on in this game.
RPH has to be kissing that post, Brandon. I just watched it back on the stream. That one just hit the inside of the bar and sat down on the line for RPH to grab.
You know what they say, the post is a goalie's best friend. Well, I'm pretty sure that RPH might be hanging out with the post after this game. And it's interesting, the closest chance of the game was right there, but yet we haven't had a registered shot on net throughout the entire first period for either of these two teams. I don't know if we've seen that all season in our coverage here, but man, oh man, how defensively contested has the first 20 minutes been. You know, both of these teams know how big this game is. A chance to go up 3-2 in the series and a chance to ice it in game 6. And here's a look at that last play. Oh, so close. And I'm going to be honest with you, Lime. Man, that really looked like that might have been a goal. Maybe an inch more forward past the red line, and that red light behind the goalie is blinking.
I think what said player was trying to show us there, Brandon, was the stick that was in the lane. It basically looked like the defender's twig was there to take the puck away as we get started here. Period number 2, ECL Pro playoffs, and nothing short of excitement here, Brandon.
Yeah, we might not have any registered shots on net, but like you said, nothing short of excitement. We saw Sulkavan Sudet almost do what they did last game to a T and score late in the first period, but just inches away from doing it. We've seen a lot of action between these two teams so far.
Great job by Yamoy to stand up at the line for Sulkavan Sudet, but it's going to be the Phantoms who get the puck in. Psycho looking out front, nobody home as that one carries all the way through, and right under the stick of Doggy. We might have an odd man rush here as Doggy coming down with speed. He looks backdoor, but a great poke check there by X as there's a tip as that one's saved and goes over the net as Sulkavan Sudet doing a great job in the offensive zone, but it's turned over the other way. Here goes the Phantoms. Psycho down low to Timothy. He goes all the way back to the point to Frankie. Down low to Timothy. He shoots. That one's blocked as we see more block shots here, Brandon, from Sulkavan Sudet.
You're also seeing more bodies in front of the net from the offensive teams. They're going for tips a little bit more with no shots being on them in the first period. We didn't see that in game 4. You kind of just saw regular plays being put on net, but a lot more tips. Both teams just trying to get something going offensively to see if they can break the ice open here.
Sulkavan Sudet making a few more believers in the chat. I think the first prediction was 10%. Now they've got to work their way up to 32%. So if they win this one, Brandon, we might see a 50-50. As the puck on the right-hand side, Psycho drops it down low. It rings all the way around to Timothy in the left. Great job by X to get it down low, but Vape standing in good position, and that's just what this is all about for Sulkavan Sudet, Brandon. Great position in the defensive zone, and it continues here in Game 5.
Been their bread and butter. We'll see if they can keep it up.
There's another block shot from Jamoy as they look to keep it up. Is Vape bringing that puck out for Sulkavan Sudet. Right back to Yoki. Poke checked off his stick. RPH had to be quick, and he moves it up the left-hand side. Odd man rush possibly if they're quick here. Phantoms, nice give and go, and the shot is on, but the blocker saved by Icy. He's up to the task. Puck brought through. Sulkavan Sudet bringing it in. Petea on the right-hand board. Stops up on the half wall. Back to Jamoy. Good pass to Doggy. Petea and RPH with a nice easy glove save.
Yeah, and both of the goalies flashing the leather a little bit with their last couple of saves. And how about that save on the other end there from Icy? That was a beautiful passing play from Deadly Phantoms. We talked about how dangerous they are when they get those passing plays to convert. They did so there, but just the better save there from Icy. A stop look very well could have been the first goal of the game on that play.
So we've seen a couple shots so far here, Brandon, and they've all been very, very good. As maybe these teams are looking for quality over quantity. As Vape brings it through the neutral zone, slowly gets in, finally through Yoki, back to Vape. Chances here, but great play by X to stop that puck from getting through, as that was a clean lane for Sulkavan Sudet if that puck got through him. Vape and Doggy play catch in the neutral zone. No pun intended. It's Vape still holding on. Throws that one in, right-hand corner deep. Timothy helping out his defender, bringing that puck up over to the left-hand side. X finds playmaker and takes it right back. Jurex dumps that one in. Timothy first onto the puck. Looking for somebody out front. Didn't see what he liked, so he goes back against the boards. Battling, trying to bring it out on the back end. It pops loose. Can it get there? Timothy with 2 shots and 2 massive saves from Icy.
Great read of the puck there. I know it's not something you see talked about often here in esports, but so important to have the ability to read the puck like that when the shots are being put on so rapidly. We've seen Timothy be able to take advantage of that before. He did it in Game 4. A nice job from Icy being on top there and staying sharp to stop those chances.
Yoki Doggy back to Yoki and he scores. What a give and go play out of the left-hand corner. And Sulkavan Sudet deserves that goal.
They do, and how about Icy, the multiple big saves on the shots from Timothy? He came up big on those big saves, and just as we finished talking about it, the big saves turned into an offensive chance on the other way around, and Sulkavan Sudet turned it into a goal. We talk about that so much. Big saves turn into big opportunities, and when you're able to capitalize on them, it can really sway the way a game goes. And all of a sudden, Tegan, Sulkavan Sudet, they get that first goal, but the way this defensive game is played out, that's so huge for them. We'll see if they can hold on to it.
Sulkavan Sudet has been absolutely phenomenal today, and their goaltender, I think, is giving them the confidence to do so, Brandon. When you have a goalie like Icy behind you making these massive saves, it gives you a chance to be a little more aggressive, maybe take a few more chances, and here they do it again in a great save by RPH, and these are the offensive chances where they forecheck and score, and it's going to be Yoki who finds the back of the net on this one.
Oh man, and I just feel for RPH. It was an amazing save there in the last few seconds. I thought maybe Sulkavan Sudet were denied a late period goal yet again like they were in the first period, but they kept at it with that forecheck. The forecheck and the positioning from Sulkavan Sudet have been amazing, absolutely superb through games 4 and 5. It goes to their advantage right there. They don't let Deadly Phantoms get out of their own zone. They turn it into another opportunity, and it just trickles in past the 5-hole of RPH to give them a 2-0 lead going into the third period. And Tegan, we said it earlier, we said it plenty of times, can't help but to say it again. Those last second goals at the end of a period, so game-changing, from a 1-goal lead to a 2-goal lead, a bigger cushion for Sulkavan Sudet, and a steeper hill to climb for the Deadly Phantoms here in Game 5.
As we're getting great action here in this game in ECL Pro Playoffs, and we've got a little bit of info from around the league as well, Brandon.
That is right. We are not covering the only series going on here today. Renascore and Sinister playing their series right now. A 2-1 overtime victory for Renascore in Game 3. They make it a 2-1 series, and just like we saw here earlier, a pivotal Game 4 coming up. Sinister a chance to go up 3-1, Renascore a chance to tie it 2-2 and make it a best of 3, but they want to do the same thing Sulkavan Sudet did, 2-2, and right now, Tegan on track to make it 3-2 with the way they've been playing in this game.
Sulkavan Sudet just needs to keep playing their game, their forward check game, Brandon, and you know, their goaltender Icy is giving them an opportunity to take those extra chances. It's 2-0 here. This series is tied 2-2. It's Game 5, ECL Pro Playoffs, Sports Gamer GG. Phantoms going against Sulkavan Sudet. You see your respective lineups in the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. And the Phantoms really need to have a strong third period as here they come into the zone. Jurex wraps that one all the way down. Frankie's going to take a chance, but Doggy gives it away right onto the stick of Psycho Skills, and that's what the Phantoms needed.
It's what the Phantoms needed, but it's not what Sulkavan Sudet needed. The one thing you can't do with this Deadly Phantoms team is give them opportunities. A critical turnover there from Doggy, who's been so good in this game. Sulkavan Sudet has been amazing at limiting their mistakes and not giving the Deadly Phantoms any opportunities. Unfortunately, there, a little bit of a slip up in the Deadly Phantoms. A deadly mistake there, potentially. Not deadly mistake, but definitely not a helpful mistake there for Sulkavan Sudet. And now, all of a sudden, they cut that lead in half, and the pressure kind of mounts a little bit more on the team in the element.
You never like getting a primary apple on a goal for the other team, Brandon. That never feels good, especially in a third period in playoffs. But Sulkavan Sudet has played a very strong day today, and they just need to keep building on that. As Doggy, great job picking that puck up backdoor and not giving the Phantoms a chance. Phantoms looking like they got a bit of momentum to build on, but Yoki, great forward check, tries to take that into the middle, but good defense by Frankie, pokes the puck away. He works the puck up the left-hand boards now, no icing on the play as that goes off the defender's skate. And here goes Sulkavan Sudet, Apetea. Apetia can't get over the line. Good pass ahead by Playmaker. Moves it ahead to Timothy. Timothy on the right-hand side. Down low to Psycho Skills, looking for a pass back. Little give and go down low. We saw that work in game number 1. And it's also worked for Sulkavan and Sudet today. As here comes Yoki. Yoki tripped up. We're going to see a penalty shot.
Oh, and I don't know about that call. I don't think he had enough space to warrant a penalty shot, and I don't think Deadly Phantoms are going to disagree, but nevertheless, Yoke a chance to make this a 2-goal lead for his team again.
Well, Yoke is going to give an opportunity here in the most exciting play in hockey, as here he comes on the forehand. Still holding on the forehand, backhand, forehand, it's in! Is it going to count? It does, and he scores with a little triple deke that, you know, I love, Brandon.
Well, yeah, getting a little fancy with it was Yoke, and it doesn't have to be pretty just because it's a penalty shot. As long as that puck goes in the net, you're going to add to your tally. Yoke did just that. RPH, not a bad decision there going for that flying poke check. I'd probably do the same if I were in this position. Unfortunately, the puck just trickled past him and found its way in the net. And all of a sudden, that's a mistake from Doggy long in the rearview mirror. A 3-goal game for this team, all 3 coming from Yoke.
So a natural hat trick for Yoke is there's a drawn penalty as well, and we're going to see Sulkavan and Sudet try and build on this and make it a 4-1 game. And the Phantoms, if this game ends 4-1, they'll be rolling over in their sleep thinking about 4-1 games, as that is all they've seen from the losing side of Sulkavan and Sudet. Here's Yamoy. Back down low, Apetia looking to drive that one out front, but Frankie in great position to block it. Here's Apetia. Down low to Yoki. The hat-trick goal scorer gets pinned against the glass. Good defense there by Jurex, who wraps that one up the boards, but good play there as the forward check of Sulkavan Sudet has just been phenomenal here today, Brandon.
Absolutely, and you're kind of seeing Deadly Phantoms even take a page out of Sulkavan Sudet's book since they're down in this game trying to make something happen. When Doggy had the turnover earlier, it was on the forward check, so we might be seeing Deadly Phantoms kind of take what Sulkavan Sudet is doing so well and applying it themselves. So a great game plan working to fruition so far for them.
Little backhand, as those shots are always tricky for a goaltender, as you see RPH slide out of the way, but a great job by the Phantoms to kill that off, and now they have to get to work. Here comes a pet day for Sulkavan Sudet. As that puck's pinned. And it's moved out here for the Phantoms. Phantoms with the numbers coming down. Psycho Timothy. It goes off a couple skates and pops out to Playmaker. He tries to fire that one backhand from the slot, but he can't find it through, as there's those block shots again, Brandon. There's Timothy. He comes in. What a move. Dances through. Puck is loose, but Icy holds on.
Yeah, that was a great play there from Deadly Phantoms. They killed off that penalty and did exactly what they needed to do in this game. Get back on the attack and try to find a goal to get on the scoreboard again. They were not able to do so there despite a good opportunity. Another solid save from Icy. And, you know, Tegan, it's pretty interesting. You all talk about things you don't see often. Deadly Phantoms, ever since the first period of that Game 4, it feels like offensively, they've not been able to establish a lot. In Game 4, they were able to get some shots on that, but not as much time on attack. This time, the reverse. A good amount of time on attack, but just 4 shots on net. Not what we're used to seeing from a team that has been, with all puns intended, just deadly on the offensive end.
They have been great as we see the back-to-back timeout, Brandon. And I think this gives us a little bit of time to touch on the block shots from Sulkavan Sudet. And if the puck does get through, Icy is stopping those shots like nothing.
Yeah, and I think that the block shots is a big reason that that shot total is so low. It's not from a lack of trying. If you're the Deadly Phantoms, you're looking to get as many opportunities as you can. They understand just as well, if not better than we do, the situation that they're in. But we talked about it in the pregame. Sulkavan Sudet, the 2 defensemen on the back end, are so good at getting in front of the shooting lane and blocking shots. Your boy and Vape have been so good at that in the series. They've continued that in games 4 and 5, and it's really limited to the opportunities that the Deadly Phantoms have had.
Sulkavan Sudet's going to end up coming out with a doggy good hustle. What an area pass over to Yeke, and that was a smart play by them, but the Phantoms get the puck up. Timothy saucers it through, it's loose, and Icy able to grab the rebound.
You know, you can kind of debate whether some of it is being sharp and some of it is just a matter of being in the right position and hoping your goalie reads it. But we've seen a lot of those plays that have been near icy and could very well trickle in that have not. I think you have to give him a lot of credit for being in the right position and being able to read those plays because it can be so tricky for goalies. It's another example of it right there. Another tricky play that could have gone through his 5-hole. He was sharp, didn't let it go through, and kept the score at bay.
Spending a lot of time over at ST Hockey there. Big shout out to them. Kovalan Lakritzi and Wilhelm is the amazing sponsors here at Sports Gamer GG. That puck is going to be carried out by Jurex for the Phantoms. Right hand side to Timothy. Timothy stops up the line, trying to get through that wall that is Sulkavan Sudet, and Apetea is going to work that puck out. Great area passes we're seeing for Sulkavan Sudet. Yoki on the left-hand side, down low to Doggy. Doggy out front to Apetea. Apetea, and here we see the offensive zone cycle as Doggy comes out with a great shot blocker save RPH. Apetea down below the goal line, battling the defense. The winger ends up coming down and helping out in Psycho skills, but he can't jar the puck loose. It's back to Vape, but we're going to get a breakaway for Timothy. Timothy, he's being chased down in the diving play by Icy, making a fantastic save in a crucial moment in the hockey game. As Yamoy can't get the puck out. The forward check now from the Phantoms as they get 2 shots, 3 shots on Icy. He saves every one.
And how about Icy? He's been amazing through the first 2 games of our matchups here, games 4 and 5, and a few big saves there at the end. But I also have to give credit. Sulkavan Sudet did a great job defensively, getting back, not allowing a clear look on that breakaway, making them think a little bit more than they might have had to.
Psycho skills in the left-hand corner. Good job by Vape to come and help out. He sends it up the left-hand boards. Can't get it out, though. But a good poke deck by Apetea, and he's going to be all alone. Apetea comes in with the shot, and RPH stands his ground with a great save. Here go the Phantoms down the left-hand side. Not much time left. Great defense there by Sulkavan Sudet, but they can't get the puck out. Timothy along the half wall. What a pass out front, and a huge save on Psycho skills was Icy once again. Timothy behind the goal line, just tossing everything out front. And Pede is going to be first onto the puck. He's stick lifted though, and Timothy brings it in. Timothy looking over on the left-hand side. Nobody home. Psycho skills now. Jarring it loose. It's out front. Another save by Icy. A second save by Icy. And this goaltender, Icy, for Sulkavan Sudet has been phenomenal today.
You can't ask for much more of a goalie than what Sulkavan Sudet have gotten out of Icy. He's been absolutely amazing, arguably the first star of the series so far, and he might have just gotten his team a 3-2 lead this series.
As he makes a final save there and sends the Phantoms home with a 3-2 victory here in the series. They are going to be trying to wrap it up in 6, Brandon, and I don't think anybody expected this.
Oh, not at all. Cue the sirens because an upset alert is brewing here in the ECL Pro Division. Sulkavan Sudet, the 7th seed, they were down 2-0 in this series. They've won 3 straight. By the way, I double-checked. This is the first time all campaign long that the Deadly Phantoms have lost 3 straight games. So they've already made something happen. It hasn't been done yet this season. And now they're 1 away from pulling off the upset and sending one of the championship favorites home packing in the first round.
As Brandon, when we saw the latest results before this game, we saw lots of upsets, and it got me wondering if Sulkavan Sudet was going to be able to do it. And, you know, I think you got to tip your hat to the block shots and the goaltending here of Sulkavan Sudet. And like you said, to give Deadly Phantoms their first 2 losses in a row, that's a big feat for this team and lots of confidence to build on.
Absolutely, and, you know, I think if you're Deadly Phantoms, you know, obviously I know it wasn't their best game compared to their standards. They are such a good offensive team. You kind of expect them to put in 4 goals or so in any game that they're playing in, but with the way Icy is playing, you have to kind of just look up in the virtual rafters and say, man, what more do I have to do to beat this guy? I mean, he has been absolutely amazing, borderline standing on his head, making any save that comes to him. I believe it was a 16-save shutout on 17 shots in the last game. This time it's a 9-save game on 10 shots. So it's one of those things. It's like when a goalie's playing like this, there's only so much you can do to get past them. And Deadly Phantoms, despite some of the opportunities they've had, they've just not been able to break the wall that has been Icy through this game 4 and 5.
Icy has been putting the exclamation mark on every save here. And, you know, we get a look at the goals that happened in this game. And Sulkavan Sudet doing a very, very good job in the offensive zone and defensive zone. And I think with how Icy is playing, like I said, Brandon, it gives Sulkavan Sudet an option to forecheck like they have been. That's where they've been successful. They've been very good turning the puck over and forcing the defensive Jur and Frankie and turning that puck over and capitalizing quickly.
And it's something that we talked about, that Deadly Phantoms have been so good out there. Offense has been so good because they've been so quality on the breakout. Sulkavan Sudet, they've been in the face of the defenseman on the breakout in Jurex and his right defenseman partner, Frankie. And when you kind of have that pressure on you, you don't have as much time to kind of think about where you're going to pass it, what play you're going to coordinate. You're just trying to avoid the defender from poking it off of you and creating a turnover. So it's one of those things, there's so much going on, there's so much you have to think about. And not only that, but it kind of changes the way that the forwards in front have to play. They kind of have to come back a little bit more, and they're not as high flying on that breakout as they maybe like to be. So I think you have to give a lot of credit to Sulkavan Sudet. The first two games didn't go their way. They were able to snag game 3. They came in today knowing it was a new day, adjusted defensively. They've executed that defensive game plan so well. As I have to be honest with you, I don't think anyone expected this Deadly Phantoms team that has been so good throughout this season, while the highest scoring units in the Pro Division the last couple of seasons being held to 2 goals in the last 2 games of the series. Absolutely huge what they've done defensively, and maybe even bigger what Icy has done between the pipes.
Well, are the Phantoms going to be iced baby here in Game 6 by Icy and Sulkavan Sudet? Find out after a word from our sponsor. We're back, everybody, at sportsgamer.gg's ECL Pro Playoffs, and it has been so exciting. I am Tegan, it's King Lime Blair. He is Brandon B. Major Bigsby, and it has been Icy who has been the tail of the tape here for Sulkavan Sudet. These Phantoms are an offensive team, Brandon, and Icy and the block shots from the defense of Sulkavan Sudet has been absolutely phenomenal.
He might be icy, but he's been far from cold. He has been red hot so far in this series, and it's continued here with both games today. I kind of mentioned it with Deadly Phantoms. It's not that it's from a lack of trying. It's not from a lack of quality. There's just been a goalie on the other side that's not to be denied. It's so hard to be able to beat that, but they're going to have to find a way. They might have to do it with a few e-hockey moments here, Tegan. Hashtag e-hockey moments with your best NHL 22 clips. Make sure you tag us at SportsGamerGG, as well as the hashtag e-hockey moments on either Twitter or Instagram. Some of your best plays are going to be saves, big goals, big hits, or funny moments. Make sure you let them be known, and you might give yourself a chance to win some cans of IQ Fuel.
And speaking of winning, you'll be able to tune in for ECL Elite, the end of the regular season here, with Tugi and Sin, Wednesday, May 11th, 1945 CEST. And Brandon, great games against Frölunda and IQ, and Goons and Sawu Esports.
Yeah, some well-known teams, all 4 of these teams, playoff teams last season, so you already know you're going to get some quality. It's always a fun time and guaranteed entertainment in the Elite Division, so if you can't get enough here of some ECL hockey, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 1945 CEST and get yourself some more with these 4 great teams, Frölunda and IQ, Goons and Sawo. You know it's going to be 4 great games and 2 great matchups that they're going to have tomorrow.
Well, speaking of great games and great matchups, we're already diving in to Phantoms against Sulkavan Sudet. We're watching from the Phantoms side, where Sulkavan Sudet is looking to win 3 in a row here, Brandon, and take the series as the upset sirens are ringing. What a hit behind the net is Timothy trying to build on some momentum here for the Phantoms. That puck's brought out Sulkavan Sudet. Apetia, good pass back to Doggy. Doggy in the right-hand corner finds Apetia behind the goal line. That one squeaks out to the point. Jamoy has it poked off his stick, and it's right back out to the neutral zone. As this is game number 6, everyone, in the ECL Pro Playoffs. Here at SportsGamerGG, as that puck's brought in. No offside on the play, but here's the forecheck we've seen from Sulkavan Sudet. Another nice area pass from Doggy, and a shot's on by Apetia, and it's all held up by RPH.
Now, we spent some time talking about IC, but RPH has been solid in net as well. He's had a few big saves, and I know he hasn't had the winning results necessary to go along with it, but Deadly Phantoms are going to need him to continue playing well to try to get back into the series. He's been solid. He's going to have to continue that so far.
Puck's brought in here by Psycho Skills. He's got room back door, but great defense once again by Vape as he blocks that pass going across. Here's Jamoy taking it out for Sulkavan Sudet. They can't get in. As we saw this in the first period of game number 4. Timothy wraps it down low. Psycho Skills tried to hit him on the cut. It was an errant pass, and the puck's going to be brought out here by Yoke. It's right back on the stick. Yoke, he shoots. Puck is loose. Another big save by RPH as it popped out to Apetea.
RPH has been up to the task to start this game out. That was 2 more big saves from him right there. And Sulkavan Sudet, they are not letting up. They want this game. They want to move on. They know what this would mean for the team to be able to pull off the subset. They're being really aggressive, and they're trying to chomp at the bit to get that first goal.
Puck's going to be sauced out by the Phantoms. Good defense there by Sulkavan Sudet. They like to stand on that line and not let anybody in. As the pass comes through, and a great interception by Jers. He stopped a breakaway there for Sulkavan Sudet, and Icy's just going to hold on to that one.
Yeah, that was very, very close. Jur, a guy that has stepped up for this Phantoms team all season, not just offensively, but defensively. He's been a big key to kind of the turnaround defensively for this deadly Phantoms team. Came over from No Rex Gaming last season, or this season rather, and stepped up big. That was a big play right there for him right there to keep this in a 0-0 game.
Puck wrapped around down low, chopped up the right-hand side. Psycho Skills bumped off the puck. Yamoy with it. Yamoy down low to Yoki. Looks back out front, and RPH just squeaks out and grabs that one to shut down the offensive chance.
Yeah, you know, I want to kind of take a little bit of time to talk about something with Sulkavan Sudet. They've been in this situation before. Last season, they played to Torrent as a 16 in round 1. They were up 3-1 in that series, ended up losing the last 3 games and lost game 7 in overtime. This is a team that's been in the underdog position before and up in a series, but weren't able to close it out. Kind of maybe a chance for redemption here, but it's interesting. I don't think anyone thought it'd be against this deadly Phantoms team that maybe, like we said, was a championship favorite coming in.
Puck's going to be brought out now by the Phantoms. Playmaker over to the left-hand side. Psycho shoots, and that one just comes past Timothy, who was standing back door. Puck moved out front. Good job by Apetea to come back and help out. It's Vape over to Yamoy. Yamoy still holding it on the forehand, waiting patiently, and breaks the puck through the neutral zone. Doggy, good pass up to Yoki, who had the natural hat trick in game number 5. Apetea. Toe drags at the side of the net, goes back to the point, back to Apetea, but this defense of the Phantoms very good here. Timothy, left-hand side, but that's going to be offside by the Phantoms. The Psycho Skills was a step ahead of the play.
Yeah, that was close because it looked like Deadly Phantoms had something good cooking there on that breakout. Jurex was in a solid position, had some positioning, had some open ice, but unfortunately Psycho just one step ahead there and they called that play.
Puck behind the net. Doggy takes it for Sulkavan Sudet up the left-hand side. Good interception by Jur. Jur still with the puck. Brings it in with Timothy, but Apetea helping out. There's Frankie turning it around in the neutral zone. Gets it in through Timothy on the left-hand side. Great job by Yoki. Is helping out strong in the defensive zone as he was very, very aggressive in the offensive zone. But here it pops out to Psycho. And great defense there by Sulkavan Sudet as that one just trickles through.
It's how they've gotten here. Good defense and even better positioning. Just being in the right place and where you're supposed to be to not give Deadly Phantoms a good look. They did it again right there. 2 blocked shots already from one of their defensemen. You're just seeing the results of that so far.
There's a double block there by Sulkavan Sudet as that one trickles through. Great job by the Phantoms to keep the puck in. Psycho shoots. Rebound almost popped out to Jur, but he was a step behind the puck. Here's Timothy on the left-hand board, still holding the puck. And he's going to run out of time as we get ourselves to the end of the first period, and a very tight one at that.
Yeah, it's been nothing but tight games so far, so not surprised to see the same here in a pivotal Game 6, a potential series-deciding Game 6 for both of these two sides. And in the story of Period 1, the man you just saw on your screen right there, RPH, multiple big saves in that period, could very well be 1-0 or even 2-0 in favor of Sulkavan Sudet, but we talked about how Icy's a man not to be denied. RPH is a man not to be denied, and for him, a lot more on the line. He does not want to see this season end and what's been a magical run so far for his team.
Been a phenomenal run. Icy continuing to make great saves here as well. Sulkavan, Sudet, RPH being tested at the other end as well, Brandon, and making great saves. This is going to be a goaltender battle game, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. This could very well be one of those games that end up being 2-1, where both goalies stay on their head, make multiple saves, and kind of turn the way that this game is going to be played. We talked about how great Icy has been, but don't forget the amazing season from RPH, that 83 save percentage, one of the better goalies this season in the Pro Division. He was high up there for a reason. He's showing why the biggest game of his team season to this point.
Here's Yoki trying to move it out through. Playmaker picks it up, though, and here come the Phantoms. Timothy dumping that in right-hand side. Poke checked off by the great defense of Sulkavan Sudet. And Doggy tries to bring it up through the neutral zone. They can't get past this Phantoms defense as a unit. When they stand together, Brandon, and play as the unit across the line, they are very hard to get past. Puck's brought into the zone now by the Phantoms. Timothy goes to work, tries to get that one over, but Yoki picks it up and goes over to Apetia. Apetia trying to move it through to Doggy, but it's picked up. And here comes Playmaker, shoots, and that one's steered to the side easily by Icy. You need better shots to beat him. As Jamoy puts that shot on, it is blocked, and we got a one-on-one. Psycho Skills going against Vape. He drops and waits for his mates. Shot is on by Timothy. It's steered wide. And here goes Sulkavan Sudet, 3-on-3. Apetia coming up, puts a shot on, looking for a rebound for Doggy on the right-hand side, but good rebound control by the goaltender RPH. Timothy looking for a give and go there with Psycho Skills, but the great defense of Sulkavan Sudet shuts that down in the 0-0 hockey game. 2-on-1 though. Here goes Doggy. Apetia, Doggy coming back, and that one goes off Apetia, and RPH holds on.
Yeah, you had to be sharp again on that one, and you're seeing Sulkavan Sudet continue to apply that pressure. Deadly Phantoms, whenever they try to get that offense going, Sulkavan Sudet find a way to counter and get in chance for themselves. It's been so back and forth, it kind of goes to test him. Maybe this could be one of those goaltending battles that we were talking about earlier.
Puck put it in the right-hand side. Frankie can't get it through. It's down low, back to the point. And that one goes all the way back, and what a great start to this game by the Phantoms, Brandon. You know, they come down off 2 losses, you know, and they don't keep their head down. They hold their head high and come back strong here. This puck's brought through. Doggy backhand looking to slide that one through, but RPH played that one very well, saw it all the way, and it ended up wide. Here's Vape for Sulkavan Sudet. Carries that one through the neutral zone. Psycho Skills back to Frankie. Frankie over to the right-hand side. Playmaker back to Frankie. Huge hit there is Frankie picking himself up and his twig off the ice, and he can't get through in time, and it's offside.
You know, I kind of want to piggyback off of something that you said with Deadly Phantoms, just keeping things going, keeping themselves going despite the rough start here today. This is a team that they've won before. They've won championships. They're 5-time GCL championships, which is the German championship here in Sports Gamer. They actually won the ECL Pro Championship in Season 7. This is a team that knows how to win gold. They're not unfamiliar with these situations. I think you're seeing some of that veteran sharpness kind of show out here. We'll see if they can help them get back into the series, but I have to agree with you. The way they've responded, really showing a testament to some of that championship pedigree that this squad has.
Yoki Apetia, and that was a great chance. We saw Sulkavan Sudet score on that play coming out of the corner earlier in the day, Brandon, but RPH with a great save there.
Yeah, we did. It's kind of one of those things that when you've seen things a few times, you kind of get used to them and know how to read them. Maybe an example of that from RPH there, staying sharp to read that play.
There's another big save by RPH, and Sulkavan Sudet has had success at just putting the puck on and forechecking. It looks like they're going right back to that.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame them. Why go away from it when it's worked so well for you and it's gotten you to this point? Keep applying that pressure, maybe force those mistakes, and give yourselves as many opportunities in the offensive zone as possible.
Here go the Phantoms, breaking that up the left-hand side, looking for a little bit of an Omaha play, and Icy had to be sharp. He gives it away, and they score! As Icy gives it right onto the stick of Psycho Skills, and he makes no mistake.
Yeah, and you might have heard the sound effects from me. I kind of saw that play coming right as it happened. He picked the puck up in a pretty odd position. There were a lot of white and red jerseys around him and not a lot of space to pass that puck out. Unfortunately, Icy, as great as he has been, a critical mistake to give Deadly Phantoms the first goal of the game. And I'm going to take a line you said earlier, Tegan. If you're a defender, you never want to be the player with the primary assist. Unfortunately, it's Icy with the primary, and Deadly Phantoms get the first mark of the game in what is potentially an elimination game for them here in Game 6.
As that, we'll have to remember, Icy has stopped a lot of good saves, but the pass goes on to the stick of Psycho, and he makes no mistake, and now Sulkavan Sudet has a hill to climb, or we're going to 7. As that one's put on, it's loose, and RPH squeezes the pads together and holds on.
Yeah, and RPH has been solid. He's a big reason they are up 1-0 in this game. You have to have great goaltending to get you to this point. It took a while for the Deadly Phantoms to score. If RPH isn't as solid as he has been, might be a tie game or maybe even 2-1.
Here's Frankie working the puck up the right-hand side. Timothy brings it into the zone. Nice little moves by him, still holding on to the puck. He's poke-checked off, though. And here goes Yoki. Yoki, he's coming down with speed. Great defense there by Juror X to poke it off. As this has been a very strong second period here for the Phantoms as that one's dumped in deep. Here's Vape up to Yoki. Yoki has it poke checked off his stick by Psycho Skills as he's all over the ice here in this Game 6. Adams dropped that one back to Frankie, and he works the puck out here in the breakout with under a minute to go. Playmaker, left-hand side to Psycho, shoots, and Icy with a nice easy glove save on that one.
Yeah, I have to flash the leather a little bit on that one. A big save for Icy, and he's kind of in a situation where he's going to have to continue to make saves like that. You're down 1-0, and in the third period coming up, Deadly Phantoms, the best thing they want to do is get another goal. Icy going to have to make sure to continue making those saves to deny them that chance.
Here's Jur. Rex on the left-hand side, he just holds that until the end of the period, Brandon, and well, Sulkavan Sudet, Icy giving that puck away as we see it here, and Phantoms come in and score. It's a 1-0 game here in an elimination game for them.
Yeah, and what better way to be up in an elimination game than to get a goal right there at the end of the second period, or the tail end of the second period, rather. An unfortunate mistake there for Icy, and what's been such a great series for him leads to a big goal for the Deadly Phantoms. And, you know, obviously it might have not been the prettiest play, but maybe that's what they needed to just kind of see that puck go into the net and get themselves a lead. This is the first time that the Deadly Phantoms have held a lead since the first period of Game 4. So they haven't really been in this situation much today. And when you are able to get into that situation, it kind of does get that confidence going a little bit, and it changes the way you play. Don't be surprised if they kind of sure up on the defense, keep relying on RPH to make those big saves, and hope that they can get that one extra goal to maybe capitalize on and extend that lead.
As here we go, game number 6 here in the ECL Pro Playoffs. Sulkavan Sudet leading this series 3-2, but not leading this game. They are down 1-0. You see your respective lineups in the bottom left and right-hand corners of your screens. As we start period number 3. Sure, moves that up to playmaker. Timothy tries to come in. Great defense there by Sulkavan Sudet. Here's Yamoy, up to Apetia. Apetia with speed down the right-hand side. Tried to hold up, gets it back to Yamoy, back to Apetia. Doggy comes in and tries to fire short side, but RPH with a great save.
Oh, and Doggy tried to tie this game up, but RPH didn't fall for that one. It was a nice, tricky little play there from Doggy, and he just wasn't able to beat him on that right post. Have to give a lot of credit to RPH for being sound positionally.
Here's Frankie going up the right-hand side. That one's intercepted and dropped down low, but it's going to be the Phantoms who come out with a Yoki with what a great save by RPH as he stopped a for sure goal on Yoki, who's had a hot hand tonight.
It's interesting, Tegan. We're seeing the dynamic kind of switch a little bit. We talked about how maybe Deadly Phantoms, you know, you kind of just have to look up at the Raptors and say, what more can I do to beat this goalie? Well, now Sulkavan and Sudet getting a taste of their own medicine. RPH just denying chance after chance after chance, but now he's got to do one man short again here on the power play. Sulkavan and Sudet, a chance for him to tie this game up 1-1.
Vape bringing that puck out over to the right-hand side. Apetia back to Vape. Nice pass back to Apetia, and here comes Yamoy, activating from the point. Goes back to Pettea where he's covering for him. Doggy wraps that one all the way around. And here's Sulkavan Sudet looking for that perfect play. Yamoy looking backdoor, but Jur X had a perfect plan on that one. Right space, right time. And there's 45 seconds left here on the power play for Sulkavan Sudet. Vape, he's poke checked away. Good job by Psycho Skills, who's been very good here in this game 6, Brandon.
Yeah, Psycho's been amazing. We hadn't heard a lot from him in those first few games, but he's really stepped up, got that big goal, was in the right position to take advantage of the mistake by Icy. He's been all over the ice today on both ends.
We're going to get a 2-on-1 the other way as Frankie comes out of the box. Frankie coming down to the backhand. He can't make anything happen. Frankie in the corner up front to Playmaker, but Icy with a great pad save. Great save there by Icy as he's going to hold on to that one. 13:33 left in the third period. We'll get a face-off here to the left of him. As we said how important these face-offs were between Playmaker and Doggy. It is won by Doggy, but Timothy comes up with it for the Phantoms. Timothy out front, but that shot is blocked. Way too many people in the middle to get that puck through. And here goes Frankie. The puck's moved ahead over to the right-hand side. Jamoy steals it. And the puck's carried out by Sulkavan Sudet. Running out of time here in this third period as we get an offside with 11:41 to go.
Yeah, and Sulkavan Sudet need to get a goal here quick. They had that power play chance and weren't really able to take advantage of it. Still some time with 11:41. Remember, they're only down by 1 goal, but with the way that RPH has been playing in that, the way the Deadly Phantoms have stepped up defensively, that 11 minutes not seeming like as much time as it may in most games. So got to get something going and getting it going quick.
Puck down the right-hand side. Timothy is rocked by Doggy, but that is going to be a 2-minute penalty, and that is not good for Sulkavan Sudet.
Yeah, not what they need. We just talked about them needing to get it going with little time remaining, and all of a sudden, give Deadly Phantoms a chance to extend their lead and also drain a little bit of that clock. So Deadly Phantoms, a team that's been good on the power play in terms of getting possession and really spacing out a defense, a chance for them to maybe extend that lead here and get this to a 2-0 game and really make it a daunting task for their opposition.
Timothy out front, what a pass to Playmaker, and he makes no mistake, and that one's by Icy off the face-off play.
And how about Playmaker? He's been solid defensively, but a little quiet so far offensively, but he stepped up big right there on a great play on the power play for the Deadly Phantoms. And now, from 1-0 to 2-0, you have to feel good if you're a team in the white and red about your chances of making this a 7-game series. With the way RPH has played, the way they've played defensively, and having a little bit more of a cushion, that was a huge goal for them to get here in the middle of the third period.
What a great answer game, Brandon, by the Phantom. Psycho Skills leading the way, having a very, very good game here. And this is exactly the turnaround game that the Phantoms needed.
Yeah, and you know, it's like we said, it's one of the more experienced teams in this division. They have won the ECL Pro Championship all the way back in ECL 7. They are 5-time German Championship League champions here in Sports Gamers. So they have that experience. They played in Elite for multiple seasons as well. So this is a team that's been around. They've won chips. They've been here before. When you have a team like this that's kind of been in most of those situations, they know how to react. They know what it takes to respond. They've shown that veteranness, and they've done exactly that. And also, just to be quick, what a pass there from Timothy over to Playmaker to set that play up. That was only put where he could get it, thread at the needle. A nice job from Playmaker being where he needed to be to put that one in.
And with 10 minutes to go, the Phantoms are going to look to try and force a Game 7. Here's Psycho, back to Frankie. He plays catch into the middle to Timothy. Poked off, Psycho fires. That one's blocked. Great block by Vape. Easy save there by Icy. He steers that one away, and he's going to be hoping that Sulkavan Sudet can come back and at least get a couple of goals to force overtime. Moy sends that one in deep. Timothy first onto the puck. The right winger come back and helping out, but a great poke check. Doggy comes in and a huge save by RPH, and that is a critical save, Brandon.
Yeah, RPH can't get too quiet. He has to keep doing this. Just 2 goals, they can come back from that.
Timothy with the wraparound, as I thought something was brewing there, Brandon. Didn't mean to cut you off, but you're exactly right.
Yeah, no worries at all, my friend. I was just going to say, RPH gonna have to stay sharp. You know, 2 goals is not a safe lead in a lot of these games. We've seen it happen before. We can see it happen again. The last thing you want to do is drop that type of lead with your season on the line.
On the right-hand side, Timothy shoots along the goal line, and what a goal!
And that might cast all doubts to rest. Timothy with the third goal of the game, and we're seeing the Deadly Phantom scoring that we expected coming into these playoffs. 3 goals in this game after being held to just 2 in games 4 and 5 combined. Maybe they're finding that scoring touch, Tegan. It couldn't have come at a bigger or better time. A 3-0 lead, and they might have just gotten the goal to extend this to a do-or-die Game 7.
There's Demoy, he's tripped up, and the Deadly Phantoms take a penalty. It might be too little too late, but we'll see if Sulkavan Sudet can build on this and maybe get a quick goal and get a couple more.
You know, it might be too little too late, but we use this often. This would be added to that list of crazier things happening. But we've seen crazier things happen. There's 5 minutes to go. They have a chance on the power play. If they can maybe score on the power play in the first minute of it, they give themselves that chance to maybe cut into that lead a little bit, cut it to 2, and then get another quick score afterwards. We'll see if they can do it. It's going to take a lot of work, but it is possible.
Here's Jamoy battling Timothy down low. He's pinned against, and Doggy's going to work that puck out to Yoki. Back to Doggy. Left-hand side to Vape, and here comes Sulkavan Sudet on the power play. As what a play by Timothy as he picks that puck off. As stops a great opportunity for Sulkavan Sudet, but they come right back in. Vape carrying it down, looking for a pass. It does get out front. It's blocked. That shot gets through, and RPH with a great save.
A great save from RPH, but I gotta have to give a little bit of a credit to Timothy. It feels like he's been all over the ice in this game, whether it's creating turnovers on the defensive end, passing it to his teammate for open goal, or even capitalizing on a chance for himself to put the puck in the net. He has just been all over the play in this game so far. A big reason that the Deadly Phantoms find themselves up.
There's a pet there. Shoots that one on backdoor, and what a stick by Jurex as he poked that one away. As that was a for sure goal, but a great job to keep battling was Yeke. And well, Brandon, we've seen crazier things, and this comeback could be one of them.
Yeah, we just said it, and we might be seeing it happen right in front of our very eyes. That's a big play there for Sulkavan Sudet to at least give themselves a chance to mark the comeback. Not much you can do there, unfortunately, if you are RPH. It would have been a well-deserved shutout if he had gotten it, but just a relentless attack there on the power play for Sulkavan Sudet. Couldn't clear it out in time, could the Deadly Phantoms, and they find a way to put the puck in the net to cut into that lead.
As Timothy dumps that puck in, gives it right back to Sulkavan Sudet, and they'll look to build on what they just started. Yamoy carrying that one up, brings it over the line, poke checked off. Psycho carries it out, and a great job by the Phantoms to stop it at the line again, but here comes Sulkavan Sudet. Yeke gets it right back, looking to spin pass out front. It's steered away by RPH, that shot from the point. And Timothy gets that one ahead to Psycho. Psycho takes it to the corner, looks up front. Doggy almost put it in his own net, and Icy's going to hold on.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. Obviously, you maybe toss that out if you are down the way you are, down by 2, less than a minute to go, but not if there's going to be too much risk involved. A lot of traffic in front of him. Have to keep that there and hope that your center can win the faceoff.
Here's Playmaker. Playmaker dumps that one in. It's going to be wrapped around. Good job by Timothy. As that puck's going to be carried out. Here's a pet there. Good pass ahead to Psycho. Psycho's bumped off the puck. And here goes Playmaker to Timothy. Back to Playmaker. Goes off his shin pad. Goes all the way back to the point. Shot on his block. And then Brandon, it's looking like, barring a miracle, we're going to have a Game 7 here tonight. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Psycho skills, brings it down, looks back door. The pass is blocked. And is this ever setting up for a storybook ending?
Storybook ending with a lot of headlines, a lot of storylines, and a lot for these two teams to play for. I can't wait, Tegan. Right when you thought the Deadly Phantoms were down, they get right back up, don't they?
They definitely do, and that is a massive answer game, and a great job by beating Icy. You know, Icy made that pass out to Psycho when he scored that goal, and maybe a lack of confidence ran through Sulkavan Sudet as they drop this game to the Phantoms, and we are going to a Game 7 here at SportsGamer GG in the ECL Pro Playoffs.
Yeah, and you're seeing the opening goal that ended up arguably being the goal that won the Deadly Phantoms the game. It took a while. It was late in the second period when they found that mark, but nevertheless, it was in the net and in an important time in their run. They needed it so badly. A nice job there from the Deadly Phantoms to respond.
A fantastic job by both of the teams involved, as Sulkavan and Sudet couldn't win 3 in a row here. But Brandon, this game is an absolute toss-up now with how we've seen things go down today.
Oh, absolutely. We saw Sulkavan Sudet go in after winning Game 3 the other day and win 2 straight, do it in dominant fashion. And you know, it kind of felt like Deadly Phantoms controlled the game, but the stats would tell you otherwise. 16 shots on net, the time on attack was virtually even. It's interesting just how these games have played out, because there have been some games like that in the series. You saw in Game 4 earlier, Deadly Phantoms, 17 shots on net, but they lost the game 4-1. So it's just been such an interesting series. You never know what's going to happen. Everything has been unpredictable. The goaltending has been amazing from both sides. This is going to be a lot of fun to see how this Game 7 plays out. A win or go home, a season on the line for one of these two teams. I can't wait to get things started. I'm just so excited. Wow.
I am as well, Brandon. Is great goals here by the Phantoms to put themselves ahead here, and they just need to keep riding this momentum a little bit like Sulkavan Sudet did in games 4 and 5. They kept the winning streak alive and just kept going on it, and I think that goaltender mistake by Icy opened the door there for the Deadly Phantoms, and that to put them in a scenario where they now have a Game 7 do or die for both teams.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you, that goal really was a turning point, and now you're in a situation where, like we said, it's Game 7. You have two goalies that have confidence, two teams that have been able to show that they can score a little bit when they're on. I think it's just which team is going to be able to do it consistently in this game. I think that the key to this game is going to be getting things going early. Other than that, Game 4, it feels like when a team has gotten that early goal and has stolen that momentum, they've usually been able to kind of carry that forward and keep it through to get themselves the rest of the way. So I think both of these teams are going to be really aggressive, chomping at the bit, and looking to get that early score, because it seems like that's been a big key for both of these two teams throughout this series.
I don't want to take any more time here, Brandon. I'm too excited for this Game 7. We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, and then we're going to dive right in. Welcome back, everybody. ECL Pro Playoffs here at SportsGamer.gg. I am Tegan, it's King Lime Blair. He is Brandon B. Major Bigsby, and we have the most exciting game you could ask for, as we are going to dive into a Game 7 where the series is tied 3-3 with the Deadly Phantoms and Sulkavan Sudet.
That's right, and it's our second 7-game series. We saw Hana HC and Visu Gaming go to 7, with Hana HC pulling off the comeback to win their series. Now we get another Game 7, and you know, Tegan, it's two teams that have so much to play for. Sulkavan and Sudet trying to get over the hump. They were in the same position last season, up in a series, couldn't close it out, had to go to Game 7, lost that Game 7, in overtime, while the Deadly Phantoms are trying to get back to the Elite Division after a few really good stints here in the Pro Division. They struggled defensively last season, but carried over their good offense this season. One of the best teams, one of the championship favorites. They've been tested by a really strong Sulkavan Sudet team. Now the question is, can they get past this adversity, find one more win, and just do the one key thing every team wants to do in the playoffs: survive and advance?
That's exactly right. And are we going to see an underdog story, as we saw a lot of that in the latest results earlier in the show? And the underdogs have been strong here in the playoffs, Brandon. What's your prediction? Do you think it will be the underdogs, or do you think the Phantoms are going to come out and take this?
Man, it's so tough with series like this because things have been so unpredictable. It's one of those things where the goaltending has been so solid. It's just kind of a matter of who can snag that momentum first, and you're never really able to tell, but the way Deadly Phantoms were able to get things going offensively, I think it's hard not to like their chances, especially with those three forwards of Playmaker, Psycho Skills, and Timosey really started to step up. I thought they were a little bit quieter than what many would have expected them to be in those 3 games they did lose. In that Game 6, they looked like the dynamic scoring side that we've seen all season long and expected to see here in this game. So the defense of Sulkavan Sudet is going to have to continue to be solid. They're going to have to continue blocking shots and getting in front of those lanes. And even more importantly, I say, going to have to be sharp and keep making big saves for this team. He's been the engine and the heart of the Sulkavan Sudet team during the series. He's going to have one more big performance in him if they want to pull this upset off.
As they're going to have to be elite, Brandon, as regular season week 5 ECL Elite is going to be tomorrow, Wednesday, May 11th at 1945 CEST, where Frölunda is going to be taking on IQ, Goons taking on Sawu Esports, and that will be commentated by our good friends Tugi and Sin here at sportsgamer.gg on twitch.tv, and maybe we can see some e-hockey highlights in these games that Tugi and Sin will be commenting.
Yeah, that's right. We know we get them in the pro division. No doubt they're in the elite division as well. As you have some NHL 22 clips to share, some big goals or some big saves, make sure you tag us on Twitter or Instagram at SportsGamerGG with the hashtag eHockeyMoments for your chance to win every week some cans of IQ Fuel. It's a weekly chance to win some cans of IQ Fuel. And like I said, big goals, big saves, big hits, even just anything funny. If you have a clip, make sure you share it with us on Twitter or Instagram to give yourselves to win a nice little prize from our friends at IQ Fuel.
And the game, you might get some of those clips at the Wilhelm E-Hockey Tournament, as we talked about that quite a bit. But here we go. Game 7 in the ECL Pro Playoffs, week number 1. Deadly Phantoms against Sulkavan Sudet. Winner goes on, loser goes home. As that pass is moved through the middle, Vape picks it up. And here goes Doggy. Doggy in the neutral zone, dumping that puck in. As that puck's going to be sent the other way. Phantoms in red here. Sulkavan Sudet in white as they come in offside.
Yeah, you know, we kind of talked about it here in the open to this game, but I think which team is going to be able to snag that early momentum could be a big key to this game 7, especially with it being a winner-go-home situation. Both of these teams, I wouldn't be shocked if they're aggressive and really trying to emphasize on that forecheck to get the first goal.
Puck is going to be brought out here by Sulkavan Sudet. Through the middle, Psycho Skills over to the right-hand side, picked up by Doggy, and there's that great defense along the line we've seen from Sulkavan Sudet. Vape into the middle to Yoki. Yoki battling with the Phantoms, but the puck support there of Sulkavan Sudet's very good, Brandon. They're doing a good job of staying close in the neutral zone, as they know the Phantoms have been very aggressive in the neutral zone along that line. Playmaker coming all the way through, but he's poke checked away, and that's a great poke check by Yamoy. But Playmaker gets it right back to the point to Frankie. Back to Playmaker. Playmaker wraps it around to Timothy. Looked for a sneaky pass out back door. Couldn't connect, but Frankie comes down to help out for the Phantoms. Behind the net to Timothy, and that one sends it all the way back into Phantoms territory. And a good start here for the Phantoms.
Yeah, they're really getting things going offensively and establishing that offensive zone well. It feels like Sulkavan Sudet's kind of sitting back a little bit, and it's not surprising to see that trap in a Game 7 situation, but when the forecheck was working so well, it had been their bread and butter along with their great defensive positioning. Kind of weird or shocking to see them stray away from that a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to be overly conservative, but it felt like they were never really caught defensively out of position, so a little bit surprising to see them go away from that forecheck considering the situation. Going to be interesting to see if they maybe throw that back in there a little bit as this game continues to go on.
We see a big hit there on Timothy. He's going to be injured. Sulkavan Sudet looking to carry on that momentum of that big hit with an offensive faceoff win, but great mind games by Playmaker, Brandon. Not sure if you caught that, but he made him jump there on the dot for a free win as that shot's on by Psycho, steered away by Icy, and here goes Jamoy through the middle. Good pass back to Vape. Vape finds it up the right-hand side to Petea, but a 2-on-1. Here comes Frankie. Frankie comes in, he scores!
Well, we talked about hashtag eHockeyMoments. Well, Frankie might want to submit that one, as that's a big play, not just in the prettiness of it, but on the scoreboard and the meaning of it. In Game 7, Frankie draws the first blood on a nice goal. The defenseman stepping up, the captain stepping up and making a big play. And you see, we talk about those X-Factor traits, that seeing eye kind of seeing itself show out a little bit there. A big goal there for Frankie to step up, get himself a look, and capitalize on to beat Icy, who's been so solid all series long.
I was waiting to see, Brandon, when we were going to get the offense from the defense. I spoke about that before these games. I know the Phantoms love to use Frankie and Jur, and this is the first we've seen it here. And maybe that's why they haven't been so successful, Brad.
And you know what's interesting, because the defensemen, they've been quality in terms of helping set things up for their forwards, but they haven't really been in on the scoring. Out of 107 goals, the two defensemen only combined for 5 of them. Frankie had 2, none these playoffs, so it's not often that they've actually been able to benefit from it. What bigger time to do so than in a Game 7 where it's a must-win situation?
This playmaker wraps that one around to the lone goal scorer. Over to Jur, and here's where we're seeing that give-and-go play with the one-timer, Brandon, that the Phantoms do like so much. Here's Frankie on the right-hand side holding the puck in again. Good pass to Timothy. It finds its way to Playmaker. Playmaker battling in front for it, but puck's taken away by Yeke. Yeke turns that puck over in the neutral zone. That is a step offside, as the Phantoms are going to have to tag up. Here comes Vape up to Yeke, but they give it back to Vape to carry it out. Over to Yamoy. Yamoy has it poke checked off his stick, and here is the Phantoms playing their game along that line, Brandon.
Yeah, and can't say I'd blame them. They're playing so well right now. Sulkavan and Sudet have to find a way to kind of get the momentum back, but it's Deadly Phantoms buzzing more and more with every passing minute. Really love the way that they're playing so far in this first period.
Vape trying to carry that puck in, but it's going to pop its way back out to his partner, Yamoy. Yamoy back over to Vape. 2 minutes to go here in period number 1. Apetia ahead of the play, looking for a pass across, but what a poke check by Frankie, as he's doing it at both ends of the rink in this Game 7. Psycho looks to sauce that one up, but Yeke covering at the point steals that one away. Playmaker trying to move that one out. He does. Doggy left-hand side over to Yeke. Yeke stick lifted, and here could be a 3-on-2. Frankie activating again. Back to Jurex, and here we go, Brandon. Look at the offense from the defense of the Phantoms here as we close out period number 1.
Yeah, both Frankie and Jurex really stepping up. We kind of said that it was going to have to be something here to kind of charge one of these two teams forward to take that early momentum. Well, Frankie and Jurex say, hey, we'll take it into our own hands. We'll make a few offensive plays and get things going for our respective side. They have been amazing so far on both ends of the ice. It's exactly what what Deadly Phantoms needed from those two guys to really help them out, give them that offensive charge a little bit to help the 3 forwards, and they've done exactly that through the first 20 minutes. It's really boded well for them so far.
Not a lot of shots in this game, but kind of expected. It is going to be a defense battle if we get the close-up view of Timothy and that huge hit there. And there's another one as he's taking a lot of hits to make a play, but it's benefiting them here as they are up 1-0.
Yeah, and you know, you don't mind it as much if you are making those plays and it's coming into fruition to kind of set your team up for success. Obviously, you don't want to take too many hits. You don't want to risk injury, especially if you are a smaller build and you lose a little bit of that speed. But, you know, if it's helping your team make a play, if it's drawing that defender to give a teammate a little bit of space to capitalize on a chance, you don't mind as much as the virtual pain that is, away a little bit. I'm sure Timothy will hope for a few more plays like that one here as this Game 7 goes on.
As the ECL Pro Playoffs Game 7 here in round number 1. Phantoms going against Sulkavan Sudet, and the Phantoms are up here 1-0 in this do or die best of 1. Because that's what it's turned into now as the series is tied 3-3. Here's Vape over to Yeke. Yeke trying to bring that one in, but he's a step offside.
Absolutely, and you know, Sulkavan and Sudet, I think they kind of need to get something going here. It just doesn't feel like they've really had a lot of forward momentum here in this Game 7. It feels like the Deadly Phantoms have kind of controlled the way this game has gone. They've controlled the pace of this game, and Sulkavan and Sudet, though they've kept themselves in it, need to get some offensive generation going. You can only stay on your heels so long against a team like Deadly Phantoms that can score the puck at will.
There's a 200 IQ play by Icy, just letting that one go for icing, taking the offensive zone face-off as we get one here. The dot has been crucial. That one's won by Playmaker. He wraps that one around the boards, and they had a player streaking, decide not to hit him. They go to Timothy. Timothy trying to carry that one in. It's turned over. Here comes Yeke. Yeke has it poke checked off his stick. There's a lot of very good neutral zone defense here, Brandon.
Yeah, this is Game 7. You have to stay solid in your neutral zone. The last thing you want to do is give those open breakouts as maybe a potential chance there. Almost saw a little bit of shades of what we saw from Icy, but didn't end up with the opportunity for Sulkavan and Sudet.
I thought we were going to see it at both ends there, Brandon, but that one luckily went away. Here comes Sulkavan and Sudet. Doggy in front, and that one's off a skate and in.
How about Doggy? He may walk himself into the slot plenty of times. We kind of talked about how he has that ability, and it ended up getting himself a chance and getting that pass over to Yoku in maybe the tightest windows you will ever see. What a play to get Yoku in a nice position. He took advantage, and now all of a sudden we talked about Sulkavan and Sudet needed a play to get themselves some momentum. Well, what better play than to find a goal to tie this game at 1 apiece?
Massive goal. As that one gets dumped in left-hand side. Here's Vape. Vape still holding on to it. Goes over to his partner, and it's up to Petia. Petia throws that one around behind the net, picked up by Yeke. Yeke still battling. Turned over. Here's Psycho Skills. Good pass up to Timothy. Timothy throws that one out front. There's Doggy. 200-foot center coming back, intercepting that play, keeping this alive for Sulkavan Sudet. But here comes Timothy looking to change things for the Phantoms. Yeke takes the puck right back, but there's another poke check, and we're seeing this neutral zone hockey that is oh so defensive.
You know, talk about guys being all over the ice. How about Yeke? It seems like he's had the puck on the stick on a lot of these goals so far for Sulkavan. Said he had the hat trick earlier in Game 5. He scored a few in that pivotal Game 4. How nice is it to see him to get on the board for Sulkavan Sudet when he's been able to put the puck in the net? It's boded well for the Chances. Have to feel good about how they are in the situation when he has gotten that puck in the net the way he has so far.
Look at a neutral zone to face off here. Game tied 1-1, series tied 3-3 here at sportsgamer.gg. ECL Pro playoffs round number 1. As Psycho Skills tries to bring it in for the Phantoms, it's taken away by Sulkavan Sudet. And here they come through the neutral zone to Petia. Good passing play as that one gets dumped in deep, chopped away by the Phantoms. And Frankie hasn't poke checked off his stick, but Jurex is there in great puck support for the Phantoms. Here's Timothy down the right-hand side, streaking, doing the best he can, but he can't get past to Petia. Puck on the left-hand side is going to be poke checked through, and this is just very back-and-forth hockey here. As Timothy dumps that puck in, it's given right back to Vape, and here comes Sulkavan Sudet with under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Doggy, good pass as he almost had Yeke streaking through the middle, but he finds Petia behind the net, who spins and loses the puck. And here come the Phantoms through the neutral zone. They come in, and that's a step offside as well.
Yeah, you know, it's not really surprising to see this as such a low-scoring game. It's kind of been these 1-1, 2-1 games throughout the first 2 periods, but you're seeing that neutral zone defense for both of these two sides really start to ramp up, and I think that's going to increase as this game goes on. Both of these teams know what this game means. That one mistake could be the difference between moving on or seeing your season end today. It's why they're playing so tight.
As that puck found its way out front to Playmaker, and he didn't get everything he wanted on it. And that was an easy backhand save for Icy as we get an offensive zone face-off to the right of Icy. And we'll see if Playmaker can continue the streak of face-offs. It is tied up, and it is won by Doggy this time for Sulkavan Sudet. But a good job by Jurex to keep the puck in. Here's Doggy. Good pass ahead to Yeke. Yeke down the left-hand side, forced off of the puck by Jurex, but Petia is there, and the wraparound was available, but he wasn't able to get the correct animation. Doggy just takes the puck out with a minute to go here in the second period. Vape over to Yeke. Doggy comes in good puck support to help out. Out high, and that shot is blocked. Puck behind the net. Frankie up to Timothy. Timothy moves that one ahead to Psycho. They can't connect, and that does it here for period number 2, Brandon. It is game 7. It is all tied up, and we're going to a do-or-die period.
It's win or go home, and one period could very well decide it, Lime. These two teams have been nearly inseparable all day long, and how fitting that we're tied with 20 minutes separating either maybe one of the bigger upsets we've seen in the Pro Division in a while, and the Deadly Phantoms continuing a great run that they have had this season. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. It's been a lot more defensive. We said it's been a tight game. We kind of talked about the neutral zone play being a big reason to that. 2 shots for Sulkavan Sudet, 5 shots for the Deadly Phantoms. Neither team is giving an inch so far, and it's going to be so interesting to see how one of these teams managed to break that next goal and take the lead for their respective side.
Well, it's a do or die period, Brandon. And as my old coach said, if we would have known, we could have started here. And it's going to be one period, tied 1-1. Game 7, ECL Pro Playoffs, week number 1, Sports Gamer GG. Phantoms against Sulkavan Sudet. You're going to see the respective lineups in the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. As puck through the middle. It's going to be turned over. Here goes Frankie up the right-hand side. That one's poked off by Yamoy. And Apetia picks it up for Sulkavan Sudet, and here they go off to the races. Yeke can't get it into the zone, and that's a good pickup by Timothy, but it's poke checked off by Vape. Vape goes back around the net to his partner, Yamoy. Here's Yepe to Doggy. Sends it all the way down the ice. RPH looks for the Omaha play, but can't find Psycho, who was trying to streak through there. Puck over the line. Here comes Psycho to Playmaker. Playmaker, Psycho, and he can't tuck that one in short side. He hit the side of the net, and that's going to give Sulkavan Sudet a chance to get out. Good spin pass. Apetia up to Yeke. He's tripped up, and a power play coming for Sulkavan Sudet.
You never want to take a penalty, especially in this kind of situation, but there may be worse penalties to take. That was a really fast-moving play. Sulkavan Sudet have been really good when they've had that puck in the slot and have been able to move it quickly. So, obviously, you don't want to take a penalty, especially in the third period of the Game 7, but, you know, if they can deny a clear-cut scoring opportunity or a potential chance that they have been able to capitalize on throughout the series, maybe not the worst thing in the world to trust their penalty kill and give them a chance.
Here's Vape. Vape coming in, looking for a pass backdoor. It ends up going behind the net, and the puck's turned over. And oh boy, we're going to see a 5-on-3 here in period number 3.
Yeah, the first penalty, not as bad, but that one definitely one I think Frankie's going to want to have back. I'm not sure what they call it. Looks like they're going to call it interference on that late check there after he got the puck out. So, Sulkavan Sudet, this is a huge opportunity. A 5-on-3. Haven't seen this from them so far today. Have to capitalize on chances like this.
As that puck tried to be cleared, but Apetia holds it in. Yamoy. Back to the point to Vape. Vape. Down low, they give it away. Yamoy shoots, he scores!
And how about Yamoy? How about the defense for these two sides stepping up and putting the puck in the net? We hadn't seen it all day, but they stepped up here in Game 7, just going along with that unpredictableness that we talked about going into this game. And we said it, you have to take advantage of your Sulkavan Sudet. You don't know if you'll get this opportunity again with a 5-on-3 and a lot of open space on the ice. They do exactly that, and they do it before the second man comes out of the box. They still have a long power play and a chance to extend the lead. But even more importantly, they have that said lead 2-1 here in the third.
As a shot on ice, he makes a great save. And what's the saying they say, Brandon? Underdogs run faster. As we can hear Sulkavan Sudet barking in the distance as they are looking to take out Deadly Phantoms here in round number 1. And wouldn't that be an upset? As we get a face-off here to the right of Icy. That face-off is won. Here's Yamoy. Through the middle here to Doggy. Doggy over to the left-hand side. Puck is down low. Timothy to Playmaker. Good puck moving up to Jur. Jur sauces that one through. That was offside, but it's picked up by Psycho, and he's just going to reset that puck and dump it all the way down.
By the line, that one goal, I like the kill so far here for the Deadly Phantoms. They had a nice triangle. Unfortunately, that goal kind of trickled through, but overall, just the one shot on that 5-on-3. Just one of those things, though, unfortunately, that one shot's happened to be what went in. Deadly Phantoms going to have to find a way to respond now and get it back to a tie score.
That puck's going to be dumped in deep, wrapped around, and up the left-hand side goes Psycho Skills. Over to Frankie. Frankie turns that puck over to Doggy. Doggy tries to make an area pass and misses, but it opens up a lane. Doggy walking into the middle, and great defense by Jurex, who gets it up to Timothy. Timothy brings that puck in Game 7. Goes back door looking for an option and can't find it. Apetia helping out on the defense. As that puck is going to be turned over, Playmaker looking backdoor is here where the Phantoms are best in the offensive zone. Gets it back to the point. Shot is on, and 2 shots are held on by Icy.
Oh, and Icy had to stay sharp for that one. You see Deadly Phantoms maybe trying to get a tip or a rebound. A lot of red jerseys in front of him right there. Maybe even potentially a screen to kind of get him off that positioning with a far shot on net. But nice job from Icy being in position and staying sharp to make that save.
Frankie wraps that one down low to Timothy. Tried to throw that one out front. It's off the side of the net. Puck picked up here by Jur. Jur walks in looking for a shot. That's going to be a penalty. And we'll get a power play here for the Deadly Phantoms. And this is what they need with 7 minutes to go.
This could very well be a game-changing 2 minutes. Sulkavan Sudet took advantage of their power play to take the lead. Now Deadly Phantoms have to do the same to tie this game back up. They've been solid on the power play. They've moved the puck around. They have to put it in the net now. This is absolutely game-changing. It's a must-score in my opinion.
That is not how they're going to want to start it, is it, Brandon? As it comes all the way back down to Phantoms territory. They've just killed off 30 seconds at their own power play. Here comes Playmaker into the zone. I would agree with Brandon. I'd say this is a must score, or at least get something built on to get yourself a goal. Timothy looks back door. Playmaker with a shot. Icy with a save. And that can't get out front. And what defense by Sulkavan Sudet.
Yeah, a nice job from your boy to clear that out. Now Deadly Phantoms have to do it all over again. Get in the offensive zone and get some chances on the net.
Puck back to the point, Frankie. Over to the right-hand side. Timothy has a shot on that one, steered away by Icy. Sure, shoots that one. He blockers it away easily. Icy with 5 minutes to go. That is a kill. And now the urgency is going to start to pour out. Here's Timothy. Looks back door. Petya coming back and helping out. Vape clears it ahead, and they get the puck out. And that's all Sulkavan Sudet wants right now, isn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, just kill that clock, let that time drain, and stay positioned defensively. You don't want to make any critical mistakes. The time is your friend if you're Sulkavan Sudet.
Here's Playmaker. Up the left-hand side, poke checked off. Jurex tries to come in and help out. That is going to be offside.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout here from the Deadly Phantoms. I don't think they've used it yet so far in this game, and yes, that's exactly what we are going to see is a timeout here, being down 2-1. And, you know, it's interesting, Tegan. 3 shots on net, but 2 of them goals for Sulkavan Sudet. You want to talk about taking advantage of your opportunities. I don't think it gets more literal than that stat right there.
Yeah, Brandon, we spoke about how Sulkavan Sudet is more quality over quantity, and regardless, it seems to be working for them. The time on attack is not that much different, and really, it just doesn't matter how many shots you take as long as more are going in the other net than the other team, and Icy's making big saves.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. And, you know, you kind of don't mind that as much when you can rely on your goaltender to step up and make as many saves as Icy has made. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to the 5 guys in front of him. They have been so good at not giving the Deadly Phantoms anything easy. They have had to work for everything that they have gotten so far in the games that we have covered for this series. And they've also done a good job of continuing to block shots, getting in front of those shooting lanes. They're going to have to do it here for another 3 minutes because right now, Deadly Phantoms are still just 1 shot away from potentially tying this game up, so they have to stay sharp.
Timothy picked that puck up and had a great chance, but he sailed that one wide. He tried to come out and shove it in, but Icy with huge saves.
I know they're down, and I know they need to get things going in the next 128 seconds, but the Deadly Phantoms are putting a lot of pressure on Sulkavan Sudet. They need to get the puck out. They cannot stay hemmed in their own zone, because after a while, Deadly Phantoms will get something in the net if you keep giving them the opportunities.
Here's a Petya. Petya through the neutral zone stops up, and Brandon, we are getting to the last minute of the hockey game. Phantoms need a goal. That shot is on. Icy makes a great save. Back to the point. Jur puts one on, and Icy with another big save. Yeke tries to clear that one out. It almost got picked off, but a great job there by Sulkavan Sudet to dump that down. Watch for the goaltender to make his way out as Frankie gets that puck up to Playmaker. It's back onto the stick of Frankie, but a Petya with a great play at the line to make it offside.
Oh, it's offsides, but I don't think that's the worst play if you're Deadly Phantoms. Playmaker has been solid at the faceoff dot all season and all series long. Could have potentially been a counterattack there for Sulkavan Sudet, so there's a worse play for them than that right there.
Puck is brought in by Timothy. 35 seconds to go. Timothy walks into the middle, goes back to the point to Frankie, back to Timothy. Timothy still carrying, poke checked off. Great play by Doggy. Puck is going to be moved out. That puck will be out. They have to tag up as that one's poke checked off. Right hand side. Playmaker fires that one on, and that one's wide. Puck behind the net. Doggy. 14 seconds to go. Vape gets that puck up to Apetea. Apetea looking to seal the upset. They dump that down. One more chance for the Phantoms. Timothy brings it up. He ices the puck, and that's going to go all the way down. And I think it's safe to say, Brandon, Sulkavan Sudet is just upped at the Phantoms in game number 7 in the ECL Pro Division.
And I think he might have had Frankie on that right side, but he was focused on getting that puck up as quickly as he could. Didn't see him.
And that is it in round 1, game 7. The underdog, Sulkavan Sudet, comes through with Icy playing his best hockey and taking the Phantoms out. And Sulkavan Sudet will move on.
ECL Pro Hockey. What else can you say? Sulkavan Sudet, a team that many had written off coming into this series, were virtually 1 game or 1 point away from not even making the playoffs. Keep in mind, they were 35 points in. The team that was outside in Golden Knights and Nemesis had 33 points. One different result, and they're arguably not here. They come in, go against a Deadly Phantoms team that has the experience, had arguably one of the best two-way teams in the entire division during the regular season. We're down 2-0 in this series and pull off the upset, winning 3 of the next 4, closing out in game 7, finally break through that ceiling of the first round and pull off one of probably the bigger upsets that we're going to see this season. How about that? Have yourself a day, Sulkavan Sudet. What a result for them. And for Deadly Phantoms, you have to feel for that group. Such a great season, a championship favorite. You really, really felt like they had that chance to win it all and get back into the ECL Elite Division. And unfortunately, just ran into a really hot goalie in Icy, a team in Sulkavan Sudet that found their stride today, and a great regular season. Unfortunately, not translating to playoff success. They're going to be back here next season potentially, and they're going to have to try for championship glory again and again.
So that is it for the Phantom season. It is going to be Sulkavan Sudet moving on to round number 2, and the excitement here at the ECL Pro Round 1 was absolutely phenomenal. 7 full games between Sulkavan Sudet and the Phantoms, where Sulkavan Sudet comes out and wins 4-3 in a best-of-7 series. And if you guys are looking for more excitement, you'll be able to tune in tomorrow with Tugi and Sin for some amazing ECL Elite games as well, right, Brandon?
That is right. For Lunda HC going up against IQ, and Goons going up against Sawo Esports. All 4 of these teams were in the playoffs last season. 3 of the 4 are currently in the playoff picture this season, with IQ struggling a little bit, looking to get themselves out of that relegation spot with a few games in hand. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 19:45 CEST with Tugi and Sin on the call. The ECL division in the Elite. Always a fun time, always a quality brand of hockey. You will not want to miss it, with 4 of the better sides in the division facing off against one another right here at twitch.tv/sportsgamergg.
If you enjoyed today, you're definitely going to enjoy tomorrow. What an amazing set of games we were handed here today. Thank you very much to the teams playing very good games from Sulkavan Sudet and the Deadly Phantoms. Huge shout out to SportsGamerGG. Obviously, Guido behind the scenes, an absolute professional at what he does day in and day out. A massive thank you to our sponsors in Wilhelm, ST Hockey, Kovalan Lakritzi. This has been the ECL Pro Playoffs Round 1. You will be able to catch us next Tuesday as well, but make sure you tune in tomorrow for that high-flying ECL Elite Hockey. From myself and from Brandon, we hope you have a very good rest of your night.